It doesn't matter if we're ready or not. We start on time. That's what we do. 12 o'clock, we start on time. I press the button that says start streaming at 12 o'clock, even if I'm not done doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And I am not, I mean, to the point of, like, it's not flashing. How will people know that we're live if the thing is not flashing? Like, what are we even doing? Like, what are we doing? I thought it was hubris. It was hubris is what it was. I thought that I had planned enough ahead. I thought that I had things sorted out, and I did not have things sorted out. I totally did not. So we will all suffer for my inability to plan far enough ahead. We only had to get that far before. Yes, I realize now that my mistake when it asks for a name for the stream. It should have been brought to you by Tony and Troy, or Troy and Tony, whichever you prefer. I don't know. I don't know what I said specifically, because we only we only spoke to each other through YouTube comments. So I don't know how I became Troy, but here we are. I'm Troy now. And there is, as I've mentioned, there is a guy in the comments that calls me Tony all the time. So I thought that I was Tony, but apparently I was wrong, and I've been Troy all along. I've been Troy the whole time. To answer Mr. Scrivener's question, hot-ish. All summer-like, vaguely summer-like. It's not full-blown summer yet, because summer around here you basically can't go outside, or you make an effort not to go outside. But it's warm. I'm still waiting for the. Oh, there we go. I was up over here in the corner where my little YouTube, my YouTube Live control panel. It gives me information. It just takes a long time to do it. I don't know what the delay is. And I still feel like because the only feedback I have that anyone can hear me is the chat. And then the chat will sit there and not move for 3 minutes. And I immediately think, oh, well, just like right now, it hasn't moved in a while, but I'm not dropping frames. It says that I'm live, so we're never in a hurry. Clearly, most obviously, we're never in a hurry. So we will get to the things that we have planned for today. We will see what level of success we have when we get to getting to the things that we're supposed to get to today. I have been whirlwind and haphazard in my preparations. I realize this now. I said last week that it's basically not sustainable to build a rig every week, so I didn't build a rig last week. And then right over here in a box is the parts to build a rig this week. And we will see if it is successful. It's not a rig out of nowhere. We'll make sure that we're still alive. It's not a rig out of nowhere. This one has been a plan to be built for a while. Yeah, and all of a sudden, boom, 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 boom. Yeah. All of a sudden, it's just that I wish you could see what I'm seeing on the chat. It's just like 200 chat messages are all coming through all at once. Vegas Steve is wrenching on a UTV 18. Got his Koala's RC got his Rhino tuned and running smoothly, but he's afraid to get it wet. even if everything claims fully waterproof, you go, you do the tighten up when you get into water that you know is a little bit too deep. RC Family asks, what is the strongest micro servo? I want to say currently, I think it is the Flash Hobby 1227. I think. In that size, in the same form factor as like Reefs 99, you know, etc. A20 CLS, etc. That servo is like 170 ounces, something like that. It's way too much. Nobody needs that much. Is it me or nobody is talking? No. Oh, you mean in there? Yeah. Now it's just going boop, 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 boop. Oh, we hear you even in Mythigan. Theoretically. Good evening to Goya Guru. 8 p.m. in Europe. It's middle of the afternoon. Who else is at work? I guess I am technically. I've seen reviews on Amazon, and I swear your name was Gus. Sweet. I am Gus and Tony and Troy. Nobody's named Gus anymore. Have you seen the new update on the tire list, the price performance ranking? Yes, I was looking at it. We have to figure out some way to. There has to be there's got to be math. There's a formula with like that squiggly F and an X in it. There has to be some sort of function, because way up near the top of that is the Hellhound, because they're so cheap. So there has to be something to offset the fact that those tires are garbage. Some of the worst tires I've ever driven, but on the price per performance, I mean, they still got like whatever score they got, a 71 or whatever, but they're only $16. So their price performance thing is not like there has to be some sort of modifier put on the tire scores themselves, because we're talking about the best tire and the worst tire are what, like 25 points apart. Meanwhile, the most expensive tire and the cheapest tire are like $90 apart for a set. So we've and I was promised there would be no math. If somebody wants to do math, allegedly. Klamath Falls, Oregon. I bet it's nice in Klamath Falls, Oregon right now. Turning fake tusks into class zeros. I would love to see that. Hop on the bus, Gus. Stall torque on the NSDRC RS100 is listed at 197 ounce inches. I'll believe it when I see it. Because that would be 197. That'd be 14 kilos. I don't think I've seen any of those. And also, that's a flex number. NSDRC only claims instantaneous torque. If it says stall torque on their thing, it isn't. They're being untruthful. Perhaps a crawler key. I fixed your mess you did with the mental scores. Oh yeah. I hit sort and the whole thing went. Hey, that's your job, man. A tire on there is low and less. Yeah, there's got to be a formula though. We need an economist or a mathematician or somebody that's smarter than us. Gusto was a football kicking donkey. Okay, I mean, I should aspire for so much. Hello everyone. Yeah, if the RS100 makes 14 kilos, I would eat one to try to absorb its power, because I think even claiming 11 kilos out of a micro is big. That's big, tall claims. Big, tall claims. Injora is very thoughtful in their 2065, and they claim 7. 7 is a doable number. That's about 100 ounces. And for us, unless you're 24th scale people, I mean, we let you in. We're welcoming to all sorts of people. 100 ounces is more than enough. For dig, we need speed more than we need torque. It's not too difficult to engage those things. Yeah, somebody that knows more things is going to have to figure out how to equalize, because you've got, here's my guesstimation. You've got a category that's cost, right? So you have the tire that is the minimum cost and the tire that is the maximum cost. which would be something like fake approaches at like $12 a set. And I think the last time we updated Cross RC Black Rocks, they're $104 a set. So you've got a huge span there. But in tires that are actually competent, so let's ignore all of the tires that have scored below 90. So let's put 90 as the cutoff. It goes 90 to 99. So that's 9 points for like 30 some tires. We have to figure out a way to get those, to get cost, which is this big, and score differential was this big, to equalize out with each other to get you that cost benefit analysis. Because as far as I know, the Panther Cougars would be the top. They were $32 a set and they got a 99. So that's a 3-point something if you just divide the cost into the score. And then, well, okay, and then Tusks would be what, 48 for like a 97? That's like a 2, right? See, so that cost analysis thing, like a Cougar is great, but it's not 1/3 better than a Tusk. Oh, it's scrolling along again. The Central Valley, 108 degrees. Can I add my Instagram name on the list for contact purposes? Yeah, I mean, that's up to you. This isn't, I mean, this is like semi-public in which anybody can show up here, but there's 63 people here right now, and almost all of them are green. So that means they've definitely been here before. So if you want to, if you maybe come up with a dollar amount per point. Oh. That's what we have now, only really bad tires at $60. Yeah. Protec 370 TBL. That's a big baller servo, is what that is. That's a big baller servo. Way too much grease in the diffs. There's no such thing as way too much grease in the diffs. Unless it's squeezing out the bearings out at the ends, there's not too much grease in there. Hello from Norway. Hello, no. Oh, and hello from Home Depot. Wreck-It Ralph is at Home Depot. So we've got check-in. Oh, we got to get a proper, right? Anybody who shows up late, it's their own fault that they don't get a Susan. They should have showed up on time, man. We waited 10 minutes before we put 12 minutes before we. She's really going before we spun the Susan. So you. Oh yeah, dog milk. So the goal is to turn that into something that looks like something other than that. Wait, let's get the low angle. Other than that, yeah, that's how we roll, right? We just throw it in a box. Should we just dump it out? No, let's not. Let's not just dump it out. Okay. So this one has been a plan. This is the hint to all of you. This should mean something to some people there of the group. This was the plan, and it just, you know, the all vanquish angle that I opted for, ZRDs. Quantity value versus quality value. You have to provide the ratio between and cross weigh them. This is statistician work. Blah, blah, blah. My brain actually turned off before I finished that sentence. Do VFD transmissions fall out of the sky and land in your yard or something? Yes. Yes, they do. That one did. Actually, here's what happened. If you would like to know, so these links, which looks better? So this looks better. So these links are made out of turnbuckles. This I had because it is a slipper eliminator shaft, and I think I ordered it for something else and then ended up not using it. So inside the gearbox are all the gears that were taken out of other VFDs that had their gears replaced with the machined gears. And then you order a skid for a VRD, and there's always this plastic piece from in every time you build from a kit. And then this was the Trucks of Fortune motor plate, and it's got like Avid RC bearings in one end. I don't even know if it's got Avid throughout. So this gearbox was just built out of whatever I had laying around. So it's a VFD built out of scraps, spares, leftovers, and other homeless parts. And then I have some VFD rails, and he included with them the sliders for stance, which was the goal all along. I wanted to build my own stance, but mullet stance, that's where it went sideways. I have also famously said on many occasions, you'll notice there's a rhino in there. The rhino was purchased for, was purchased for Scarlet, and then Scarlet ended up getting a Fusion, and I'm very happy with the Fusion in there. So I had that, and I also had a V40, which means no NSDRC servo because I still don't trust that combo. So I had to swap out Scarlet's servo. This is Baseline's old servo because I wanted to combine a direct power with the V40. The shocks are our usual Amazon sort. I think the other camera might be able to get in close enough to see it, but I don't know. I got my first set that are the... Can this guy focus? That have that they don't have the snap ring. So I don't know if you can even see it. I drilled 2 1mm holes. I have a way to show this. We're gonna use technology against itself. So I drilled 2 1mm holes in the little locking fella. Cancel. So I can still use my snap ring pliers to, and actually, you know what? It's pretty nice because you can set the tension on the seal pack and they're pretty solidly okay. I also did a bunch of 9 bolts. These are 96s. These are the middle ones. I did a bunch of back of the napkin calculator math because when you buy the piston packs for big bores, each pack comes with 2 3-hole and 2 2-hole pistons. So I want to be able to use the 2-hole pistons, and not only do I want to be able to use them, I want to be able to use them with 40-weight oil because it will leak out more slowly, in theory. So I did the math. I went to a calculator to calculate the volume of a cylinder, calculated the volume of the piston holes on the 3-hole and the 4-hole, and tried to add about 58% more volume because the piston hole volume of a 3-hole, they are 3 1mm holes and these are 2 1.1mm holes. So to get to 516 CST from 300 CST, we needed 58% more cylinder volume of the piston holes, and I don't think I actually quite got it because they're still a little slow, but I would rather have them a little slow. They are 1.5mm holes. I never mentioned that. I would rather have them a little slow than a little fast. So for those of you who are curious, if you've bought the pistons to make your fake deluxe, if you're going to drill out the piston holes in the 2-hole pistons, use a 1.5mm drill bit, and then you can run 35 weight would probably be optimal, but I'm trying to get to a 40 weight mono spec. I just want to run 40 weight in these fake shocks because it'll stay in longer. And the steps go really fast. Like if you had a 1.6mm drill bit, it would go up about 10 weight in oil. 1.7 would go up about another 20 weight in oil. So it goes up really, really fast. And now I have to catch up to the chat because I've been rambling. Ben Webby asks, what's my favorite gearbox? I would have to say overall Stealth X. Inexpensive, quiet as all get out. You can have 6%, 12%, or 18% internal underdrive. You can run it forward or backward, meaning you can have the motor face the back or the motor face the front. You can get a front motor kit and put a front motor mount on it. You can do all sorts of stuff with it. You can get the thing from Artful Dodgers that turns it on its side, Fox Belly. The stealth is super versatile, and it honestly, it's the one that it surprised me nobody has tried to make a clone of. Miata Commuter is here. They're not at a cocktail reception where everyone is wearing monocles. I can't actually even believe it. The Panther Cougar might not be scale looking enough for some people. How are you going to quantify and integrate that? Well, they're also discontinued, so they're unobtainable. You can't have them. So it doesn't even matter. Mine didn't have those holes in them, just a solid cap, and I couldn't get in. Yes, Brian, yours did not have the solid holes because I drilled those. Yeah, I drilled those. Getting those out without them, I gave up. I took them over to the drill press with the cap still in there and just free drilled 2 1mm holes. They need to be 0.75 millimeter holes to match up with my 926, to match up with this guy. But my drill press, the smallest bit that it will accept is 1mm. So I drilled 1mm holes. And 1mm works just fine. I finished my base camp kit. What spring weight would you recommend? It is way oversprung. Yes, it absolutely will be, Gares. It will be 100%. I want to say, well, you know what I could do? I could look. So Bazoo is running. So Bazoo is on a Zoku chassis, so he's a little lighter, but he's running 1.2 pound. The springs that come with these, he's running the 1.2 pound all the way around. Your shocks will be stood up a little more. You're probably going to want something in between, I would say, 0.8 pound and 1.2 pound, somewhere in that area, depending on your body. If you got a hard body or something, like, I don't know all the details. If you got a hard body or something on there, obviously it's going to be through the window. Yeah. What LP, Rice Krispie, what LP servos are you guys running? Just burnt up my Holmes and my VRD. In terms of low profile steering servos, I think all we've got here are RS400s and RS700s from NSDRC. There is that issue that they have with Outrunners. For some reason, those servos like to explode. If you're not running an AM32 controller, RS400 or RS700 will sort you out. RC Family loves his Stealth X. It's fantastic. Europe's still having problems getting Traxxas pistons. And here's the problem, 9 bolts. 10mm pistons used to be super common. Associated ran 10mm, Losi ran 10mm, of the big bores were 10mm. In the early aughts, up through, say, like 2010, 2011, the 10mm piston was a big bore. So 10mm were everywhere. I have a drawer. So this is my drawer that says AE shock parts that goes way back. See the purple and the pink ones in there? Those are MIP dual stage pistons that float apart. They open and close so that they have variable damping, whether they are on compression or extension. And then all these white are straight off the sprue Delrin associated pistons, and they are 10mm. The problem is they are all 10.00 millimeter, meaning in bodies like this, sometimes you have to sand down the pistons to get them to fit in because you're putting a 10mm piston into a 10mm hole. Maybe give any tire that scores under 85 a 0 for price performance. €30 for 2 packs of pistons plus another 30 for seal packs. That's why you should have told me you needed pistons too. I would have mailed you pistons. Vanquish is the VRD carbon kit is 512 UK pounds. What? I can't move. I have a cat on me. I get it.
What is it in dollars?
Probably like $800.
Well, no, I mean,
Battlebot Guy has chimed in to say that the charger he has been sent by the folks, the denizens of the canyon, has been working great, and we're glad to hear it. I wonder if Zobazu could IFS. I don't know if you can put an IFS on a Zoku. Oh, Gare says it's light. He's running the Corvo wagon. Yeah, probably around in or around a pound is what I would probably mention. Or if you could missing link Zoku. I don't know. So much on that is reliant on the C channels. I'm fighting the urge to run a hard body on my new LCG build. I mean, I know the feeling. They are super cool. Have you ever run an Axial Pro? I may have asked you this before or may have missed the video. Ben, I have not. I had one on pre-order for like 13 weeks, finally gave up, and canceled it and bought something else. Reefs is claiming the same problem with their new 900 LP. They all the boutique manufacturers, they need to catch up, because you've never heard anybody talking about blowing up a Amazon Blue case, running it with. There's a dude in my comments all the time that's been running an Amazon Blue case on 3S Direct for like a year, and it's just fine. But you get a little bit of backfield burst voltage or whatever the hell NSDRC and Reefs are calling it, and it just blows their servo up. West Hunt says I had an RS700 V2 blow up in my TRX4 that was running a Copperhead. I'm telling you, NSDRC and Reefs are the only servos I hear about blowing up, and claiming that it's ESC based. Reefs, okay, 900 LP. Oh, Miata Commuter throwing out the gift memberships. Okay, I'm going to try to bring it up on the phone because it's so good. It's so good that I want you to see the sawtooth. I don't know if I have a window for it. No, it's in members. I need to find the membership number, and I don't know how to do that on my I don't know how to do that on my phone. Anyway, it goes. People get gifted the memberships, they have them, and then the old gifted memberships fall off. And then new people get gifted memberships, and then they have them, and then they fall off. So it just back and forth. RC Family says $654 US for a. You know what you need to find? You need to find yourself an American friend, because
how much is that? How much do we pay for it?
$400.
Okay, that's what I was asking.
What's going on with NSDRC servos? I don't know. I have a. Here's my NSDRC that blew up. It died during a tire test video that Yellow was running, and it just went to full lock, and that was that. It just died. I also had this Reefs go stone dead on me, completely unresponsive. It worked absolutely fine, and then I powered up a rig, and nothing, just absolutely nothing. Tried plugging it into another radio, then plugged in another servo, and that servo worked just fine. So that is apparently dead. I keep them for the parts, like the gears and the pins. And then, more fun even still, I had gotten that 9iMod 55 kg coreless to do a servo test on. Was the aforementioned servo swap that I was doing into Scarlet this morning. Put this servo in. There is something very broken inside this servo. It makes, you can get a little bit of movement and then just screaming sounds, even with no horn on it. So either it was returned broken or they sold it broken. I don't know, but that's already got its return authorization from Amazon. Oh man, I scrolled up and it's way down now. Okay. My Holmes SHV 800 crapped out on an Outrunner AM32. Okay, so now we can throw Holmes in there. I got a second-hand SCX-102, came with RC 4-wheel drive King shocks. I'm going to see if I can make them hold oil. I like a challenge. My friend, you are in for a challenge. I wish you good luck. There are 40 tires above 90 points, and the crap ones are below, obviously. The worst tire over 90 points are the fake Black Rocks at 93.4. Yeah, and I still think that there's a place in the universe for the fake Black Rock, because they are cheap, super cheap, and even cheaper off of Amazon. A cheap Zener diode soldered in line with the JST is all you need to do. I need a link or because I need a bunch apparently because I've got a lot of these, and I have guys like Zoidberg are running an 80 and 2 RS500s. We also have we have 2 RS700s running with outrunners. We've got a lot of outrunners paired to NSDRC, and if I could stop them blowing up, bouncing noise. None of mine have blown up on 4S. They've all blown up on 3S. Jeff at the Temple has gotten his Class 1 comp pins. I still haven't ordered mine. 75 CVSW. That's a fantastic servo, man. That AGFRC is one of my favorites. It's too bad they're like $90. Someone may have sent some Tamiya CR01 tires, claiming that they are the worst in the world. NSDRC offers a voltage spike suppressor for $4 when you're running a Surface ESC and 4S. You're saying, oh, okay. I'll have to go on the NSDRC website then because we need to order like a half a dozen of those. Yeah, Kai is running a voltage spike suppressor of Zener diode with his direct power servo NSDRC on 4S with an AM32 and it survived. Zoidberg, the four-wheel steer gentleman, has been running a pair of RS500Bs on full-time, everyday 4S since he was converted to the chassis that he's on now, like 18 months ago. Rhino V80 and 2 RS500Bs and never had a single problem. Yella was running 4S day-to-day on this RS500, and the day that he blew up, I didn't have any 4Ss charged, so he was doing the test on a 3S battery, and that's when it decided to die. So I don't know. I don't know. Wonder if Reefs and NRC or DSC get their parts from the servo parts from the same vendor. There's no ruling it out. Most of the Reef servos are AGFRCs. I don't know who the OE supplier is for the cases and gears and whatnot in the other guys in Reefs. I mean, in NSDRC, I don't know. They could all be the same. I do see a lot of specs and stats that are really close for both. I just try to assume that they're different. I'm wondering, can you yes, RC family, you can absolutely rig a servo to run on direct power. The thing is, direct power is not regulated. So that's where the spikes come. The thing that kills the direct power servos is the back fit because it's unregulated power comes in, and they're supposed to be able to handle it, but apparently they can't. So pick a cheap servo, like an AliExpress, Amazon blue case or red case, if you're planning on direct powering a servo, because it is probably here for more of a good time than it is for a long time. So, American friend, how much does it cost to ship a VRD carbon to me? Apparently, Belgium is in the bottom of a well, guarded by a troll that eats money, because shipping a rig to Belgium was going to be almost $100. Now, the VRD might be a different story because it comes in a box this big. So shipping that box might actually not be that bad. I can find out. I can get the rough OE weight of a VRD carbon in a box and find out how much it is to ship it to places abroad. Okay. Reefs died on me. I'll never buy another Reefs. Yeah, I can't claim any like I can't say I'll never buy this brand or that brand because I had one die, because I think I've killed pretty much one of everything at this point. Some by my own stupidity, some by my own negligence. Those two are still sitting over here to be scavenged for parts because they just died. Like, most times, like when I blow out gears or something in a servo or smoke one, I can pretty much right away tell what happened. There was no warning, no nothing. They just died. And so it makes me nervous. So do I put just the tires over 90 points on the I would say so, yeah. Maybe I should read the whole comment. HVO203, so do I just put the tires over 90 points on the price performance? I would say so. Anything under 90 points is just here for the shens, for the giggles. It's nothing that I would recommend anyone buy. And I just tested those Wild Peaks. I don't recommend anybody buy those either. I just assume that there's a lot of people that already have those. Those are laying around in people's drawers and desks and bins. Oh. That's it?
How many do we need?
6. My Holmes LP had the thickest white smoke coming out of it, like running with a Holmes own V3 ESC. Yeah, like, how do they not, like, why is that diode not in there? How come we've never fried one of these, and these things are $60? How come we've never fried one of these running them off of Outrunners? And y'all know me, man. I have got a lot of Flash Hobby servos running around here. Ouch on 3S. Yeah. Zener diodes are 80 cents each. Holmes Hobby Crawlmasters do have a Zener diode. Oh, I see a blue arrow. That means I'm above the bottom. Oi! Thought on the Furatech Lizard 10 Lite. I have not seen it. Hobau's making a crawler now? Well, what do you think about that? Famada has a small gearbox for $20 with a 10.5 to 1 ratio. I mean, that's about right. Mr. Peterson just ordered a Reefs 800 LP. Do I need it, or do we just... that's a want over a need. That thing makes way too much torque. Okay, well, will we see a review of the RC 4-wheel drive Arturo Trail Blades? I don't buy a lot of Class 1s, but I won't rule it out. I had no intention of reviewing the Sem Fronteras, and somehow they ended up in my cart. So, I won't rule it out. Is it just me, or is the stream lagged a lot? I have no render lag, no encoding lag, no drop frames on my end, and I've got all full green bars. So there was a big lag on the chat, but it's caught up now. Zener sizing is based on the max voltage of the servo. 17 volts is the most used, but if you run roller volts, I would adjust Zener voltage accordingly. Ugh. Thoughts on OT6 Voodoos? There's a bunch of different Voodoos. You've got the MTX. You've got the like Comp MT. You've got the KLRM. And here's the thing about all the OT6 tires. For me, the compound has just never been a compound that like wowed me. OT6 tires are very expensive. Even if you get the trail specs, I have a set of the trail spec Halo carcass. Then you run the Halos. You have to run the Halo inserts, which are $30 a pair. So usually to outfit a set of OT6 tires costs about $100. And if you're going to spend $100 on a set of tires, you have more options. I know a lot of people swear by the OT6 tires. Here's what I can say. I have one rig on OT6, on trail specs, and that's it. Have you ever tested the Element Pin Seeker? Yes. It predates the current tire testing format. They are right here, as a matter of fact. They're right here, wedged in. Yep. I have indeed. As far as an OE tire goes, not bad. They are quickly outdone by tires even of the same size. Like an Endura Comp pin is almost the exact same size, or a Swamp Claw is almost the exact same size, and they're just better. So the Pin Seeker is not bad enough to throw away or stick on a skewer, but it's not a tire that I would recommend anyone buy. ESC is the side that needs Zener. It's the spikes from the ESC that kills servos on voltage. I mean, then why are NSDRC and them selling ones that go inline in the JST? So in between the servo, I get, and the battery. I'm not an electrical engineer. I don't know how electricity or magnets work. So I don't know. Oh well, if it's laggy over in Spain, I can't. I don't know what to tell you about that. You're so far away that I'm starting a pile to make a C1 lightweight sporty mullet just because. Sweet. I just posted something in the Discord for you. Oh, I can't check Discord and do all this at the same time. I haven't even touched this yet. We're 40 minutes in. Oh, Kai Severson posts a number. Can be bought in bulk. Suppressor diode should be sized for the maximum servo voltage. Mentioned diodes are for 4S rated servos. Sweet! Should I mount my Proline scalar shocks upside down? They leak a lot. Can't hurt. Can't hurt. Like, it won't stop them from leaking, but it'll make them a little better. Any idea on what to do with axial nittos under than the skewers? I've got 3.5 sets of them. Are you referring to trail grapplers? What I might have to do is revisit the trail grappler because I was digging through a bin and found I have a set of trail grapplers as well. And they have been left to gather dust. So I might have to try them with some other operation. They have been in, as far as R35 is concerned, the trail grappler stands out to me as like the absolute worst. Like they are the tire that is just the worst R35 tire that I can think of. They're so bad. They're bad enough to turn you away from anything R35 compound altogether. A VFD on the bench. Nope, there are zero VFD parts on the bench. That's not true. That's not true. This part and this part and the skin. Those are VRD. But oh, he said VFD. Yeah, no, there's definitely a VFD on the bench. Stick only the inner closed cells from a 2-stage in a Nitto. The problem with but it works like a flat tire. You get on the side hill and away you go. The shoulder is what needs supported. It's just how much shoulder support does it need, and every tire is a little bit different. Which is why I think that I mean these gents. That's why they did as well as they did on these. Because they are so thick, there's no gap in the sidewall at all. None. Like it's filled. Because with all that ribbing and belting, these are so thick that it's amazing that they worked at all. I would not have thought that Injoras would fit, because if you put an Injora in a fake tusk, you put an Injora in there, and it's just bagged out, and they are the same size. Like there's 3, 4, 5 millimeters on either side. They don't seem that thick, but man, are they ever. And again, I'm not recommending anybody don't go buy them. But if you already have them, I'm saying you don't have to throw them away. I have the Trail Grappler too, and I want them to be good for a rig matching reason. Yeah. Because there's a lot of tires out there that people are getting for scale purposes, and that's often the only version of that tire. It's not like some sort of BFG where there's going to be a bajillion of them. Everybody makes some sort of version. I have genuinely forgotten what link is what. That's a problem. Okay, those are front uppers. Those are rear lowers. Another person, why not no inserts at all? I'll show you. So here's the tire, and it's on a wheel, and you get on the hill, and it just folds over. These tires are semi-pneumatic, so they require something to hold them up, and air to make the something that's holding them up work, because air has to be displaced into and out of the tire. Semi-pneumatic. Foam filled, which is why in no pursuit in life, aside from, I guess, forklifts, have solid tires been at all successful. Oh, someone recommended the Banff tire inserts, which it is so incredibly unlikely that you will ever see a Banff tire insert here, because they are phenomenally expensive for a foam insert. Like, they cost more than squid inserts, and the squid insert is kind of that's the J-Concept's tusk of tire measurement. You've got to do better than a squid insert, and Crawler Innovation stuff are great, and I have a number of sets, outfitted them because I've received them, but they are not something that I would seek out. They are far too expensive. Far, far, far too expensive. And I feel the same way about the Banff inserts, having never used one. It's so expensive. It's so expensive. I always get this wrong. Sweep Racing. Sweep Racing used to make a bunch of stuff for buggy racing, 10th scale and 8th scale. I'm pretty sure I've got some Sweep Racing Go Fast tires around here. No, I did have that right. So this is another one of those. If there's going to be a live stream build, which is what we're hoping this is going to be, there's so much stuff that has to go on in the background. A ridiculous amount of stuff. And I'm just hoping that we got it mostly right. Have to assemble all the links and get those to hopefully work. I get simulated air, but wondering if no inserts would give you the contouring of obstacles you want. Oh, it's way too much. Way too much. Way too much. Overcompliance is absolutely a thing. Too much deflection is absolutely a thing. If you want to see it in action, all you need to do is look at most any Vanquish Red tire, because what Vanquish has successfully done, and this only comes from my knowledge of testing a lot of tires, what Vanquish has successfully done is they've made a tire that is too soft for the thickness. Vanquish Red Compound is too soft. I have right here, right behind me. Okay. Yokohama Geolander. Yokohama Geolander. Let's pick somebody at random. Let us, here is a, let's see. Is Cam 2 better for this? Is Cam 2 better for this? Okay. Geolander. Geolander, okay. I got to figure out my framing here. And there's a Deep Woods, and for the Shen's Canyon, S1 Canyon Trail. Okay. So, sidewall thickness, so no rib, no belt, no rib, no belt, no rib, no belt. S1 is a fairly soft compound. We can get, that's about what we're looking at, right? That's fine. We have a good sidewall strength. We have good bite from the shoulder lug. If anything, the drawback of a Canyon Trail is it has too many lugs too close together. So a Deep Woods or a Louise Champ is similar, but as you can see, because the carcass is a little thinner, C3 is about the same density, like the same durometer reading of an S1, but it's thinner. So you get more stretch to it. So this tire needs a bit more sidewall support than a Canyon Trail typically does. A Canyon Trail can get away with it though because it's fatter. It's probably 5 or 6 millimeters wider than this tire when mounted. So the insert isn't going to fill it out as much. So the tire and the insert are not hypercritical. The Canyon Trail is one of those tires where it's not hypercritical that the insert perfectly match the tire. Then you have Vanquish Red on the Geolander. The sidewalls are paper thin, and the compound is taffy. It's absolute taffy. So what happens is you get wrap. You get wrap real bad. These tires try to turn themselves into tornadoes. So what do you have to do? Well, if you're Vanquish, you ship that tire with an insert that is as hard as a stone. These are RC four-wheel drive level stiff. If you put these inserts in these tires, they barely work. If you put these inserts in any other tire, they don't work at all. So this is not a hack. This is a bodge. They were trying to bodge something into this to accommodate for the fact that they made a tire so stretchy that it's almost unusable. It's basically a rubber band. It will stick to itself. They're really difficult to mount until they learn the tire or the wheel that they're going to be mounted to. It's an all-around. It's a cluster whoops is what I would call this tire, because you shouldn't be able to do this. And now it has glued itself together because of where I pinched it. It will gradually kind of pop back into shape. It's too thin for how soft it is. If you're going to make the compound that soft, you basically have to make the carcass thicker to make up for it. And they don't. They're little glue discs. And that is why I have come to the conclusion that they don't work as well as they could. Also, red compound doesn't like dust, which doesn't really help. Do you stay away from the small scale stuff? Yes. Thoughts on eBay TGH Sherpa clone with the FMF and divorce T case? I'm using a couple of those Creeper T case forward motor mount assemblies. Those things are great. Those things are absolutely great. I've seen the knockoff chassis, but I've either never seen it on Prime. I don't remember what the reason that I haven't ordered one is, but I haven't ordered one. Brazen chassis build or Zoku. I don't know. I'm kind of a Zoku guy. I don't know. I've never been more excited to see the test video of this rig. But this one? I run Endurance Swamp Claw soft with stock foams. Thought about different wheels and tires with 2.2 and no inserts, considering RC vehicles aren't heavy, really. Well, I mean, they are. Relative to their tires and what their tires are supporting, they actually are kind of heavy. 5 pounds on, so we take this tire right here, and, that is a few ounces of force. So when you put the weight of a vehicle on it, it doesn't take much. Now, there are tires that we have tested that are they live on the skewers now, but those tires are so hard that, yes, they could indeed be run without inserts. But when you have a tire that hard, the performance is going to be absolutely horrible. So you get back around to where you started. Driver 8, that should be their motto. That should be that's their unofficial motto, where the convergence of the ridiculous and the sublime is Vanquish. I'm not using the ones that came with my Phoenix and screw it and put tusks on it. Yeah, almost every Phoenix that we have here, we've got one on extreme routes now because why not? But prior to that, if it was a Phoenix, it ended up with tusks on it. Ooh, second try. Got it on the second try. It would be epic to see a stock VRD Carbon and a Zoku ZRD side by side. The ZRD is going to beat it. The Zoku is going to beat it. I drove them about 36 hours apart. A basic, well, it wasn't even, oh, no. Okay, I'm sorry. I've never driven a stock VRD. The springs that come with it are overly hard unless you've got a bunch of additional weight on the VRD, and I don't know where that weight came from. I was running 0.8 pound springs all the way around. They were just about right. It comes factory with 1.2 pound. So even with the collars all the way up and the spring and the shocks at the highest position, it's sat way too high. That's why pretty much every other video that you will see out on the internet of somebody driving a VRD, the thing is, it's a donk. It's all the way up because the springs are too heavy. There's not that much sprung weight in a VRD. So I don't even know what a stock one drives like because I have replaced the springs on both that have been through here. And if this qualifies as a VRD, ZRD, I mean, I guess it does. Technically, it's something approximating. Then it's not stock either because it's getting softs from Deluxe. It's getting Deluxe softs, 0.8 all the way around to start with. Vulcan Wild Peak is as bad as that. Yeah. Yeah, they will twist. Are mine on rims? I'm gonna reach over, so we'll do this. Yeah, this is working. This is working. So the foam that comes is similar, not as hard. It's more memory foamy, but yeah, you get the yoo-wee, hoo-wee, and it's smaller. So it's too and mind you, when I do that, I'm stretching the entire tire. If it's just the sidewall, like it's like a swim cap. You leave foams, you know how they say foams are there to keep the shape of the tire? With tires like this, it might actually be true. When do we see the inside-out hustlers? Listen, wait. Listen. Have you ever tried to mount a tire inside out? The bead is the wrong. Now here's the thing. These gumballs, you might be able to mount inside out because they're so squishy. But all the belting and ribbing, almost got my fat in the screen there, but I caught it. I'm looking into about getting the Ascent Fusion. Good luck to you, sir. I'm on the fence about buying the ZRD kit for my Carbon. I like the extra shock position specifically. Also, I think what you can't tell just from looking, but what you'll see here, if you have a VRD near you, look at the position, look where the top row of holes for your shocks are relative to the holes in the chassis. So on the VRD, they're up about here. It lowers your whole vehicle like 12 millimeters. It has to. It just drops the CG down. And then it moves the towers in, so it puts more shock angle on it. And it puts more kick in the skid. So it's not big changes, but they definitely translated because I could tell a difference and it was substantial. Can't keep my extreme routes mounted on any wheel I've tried. Pulling them off? Ours are on trials right now. I did the test on Amazon 105s and didn't have a problem. You can find on they're on A-Main, I know it. I want to say they're like Racing. They make a set of pneumatics that you actually fill up with a pump and you pump them up to like 2 psi, but they leak all the air out in like, they say that it'll last a couple weeks, but if you read any comment or review below them on the set that's on Amazon or the set that's on A-Main, they leak all the air out in about 3 days, which is about what I would expect because 2 or 3 psi is not going to stay. It's not going to stay. And the whole reason that we do this is so we don't have to fill tires with air. Pneumatic tires are a pain right in the tuchus. And also, has to be a specific tire because it has to have its own sidewall support built in. Now, here is a thought for the people who are talking about no inserts. If you had an insert, oh no, he's going to the whiteboard. He's going to the whiteboard. If you had... Okay, this is going to be a terrible drawing. Watch this. This is a rectangle. This is your beadlock insert, right? The middle part. There's the axle that goes to the vehicle. And here's where you put your wheel nut on out over here. So this is the wheel, right? And here's the axle. Oh, now we're getting And there's that. Okay, now does it look like a wheel now? Okay. So the tire is out here like this. It goes all the way around like that. That's terrible. Looks like a baguette. There's the tire. You could make yourself, with some sort of closed cell, you could make yourself this. It goes to, like, let's say right there. Just to support the sidewall. Just to support that lower section of the sidewall so that the tires don't roll over. Theoretically, that might be all we need. Particularly with a tire like those axial wow peaks that are so firm. Like, they just need something to hold their sidewalls, because no matter how firm their sidewalls are, if you put 5 pounds of force on it, it's going to fold it over. Like, I've folded every tire over, some more than others. At some point, either the traction is going to grab and you're going to roll, or you're going to fold the tire over. I put the Deluxe Mediums on my 6.5 pound Enduro, and they're really good. That seems firm, but I don't remember. That's Deluxe Medium is 145. Yeah, 145. 145 isn't explicitly firm, and also it's softer than anything that came stock on the vehicle. Most Enduros come with element blue on the front and gray on the rear, or gray all the way around, and grays are 1.4. Yeah. So you just replace 1.4s with 1.4s. So yeah, they did work great. I like a little lower ride height. I like Link's level. You're probably a little bit above Link's level. Have you tried one of the D1RC gearbox clones off Amazon? I can't tell you yes or no, because what did I knock over? Because I don't know what a D1RC is. Well, that doesn't help. I'm going to say no, because it doesn't show up. When I search for it, the first thing that comes up is a tiny little LCG middle transmission gearbox upgrade part for crawler that's orange, and then a fake Tulo. So I don't know. There's a lot of gearboxes out there. I've tried a couple. What springs would you recommend to buy for a VRD? Deluxe, either Deluxe Softs, which are 0.8, or Element Greens, or in the 3-pack that Hot Racing does for the Losi Mini T. One of them is really close in that 0.8 pounds. If you can get somewhere around 0.8 pounds, that's about where you want to be. My Lampreys won't stay on the beat either. I didn't shuck one, surprisingly. I heard someone ask about OT6. I just bought the Enduro OT6 4.19 for the base camp. I needed a smaller tire for that Corvair wagon. They are the normal compound, not the super soft. Yeah. So closer to the trail ones than closer to the comp ones. Have you ever run the small Deluxe springs on the S8E shock without any additional cups or mods? 100%. Absolutely. You can absolutely do that. Do we have one on the bench? No. Do we have one over here? Miss. Nope. Those are TRX4. Those are 10-inch Pro. Oh, I can't remember who they're on. I can't remember who they're on, but yes, and you can, and nothing, I can't stop you, nor would I try. The best that I can do right now is, they're so leaky. Here's one that was stored in a little thing, and they are just, they never stop leaking. I haven't changed the seals in these, that's why they haven't been repurposed. But you take yourself a Deluxe spring, well, or any other spring for that matter. There's this little, you know what? You know what this guy is great for? This. We can get really close. So you take this little guy and see how he's got the little land? The 10mm springs just fit right on there. And then all you need are cups. Run them upside down. Otherwise they're going to leak out all their precious juices. But yeah, you can absolutely just run the 10mm with no other modification. You just use the other cups. You can try WTB 26-inch mountain bike tire, cut it and make it the size of a 2.2 the week of the dump. Man, those mountain bike tires are expensive. I'd have to find some worn out ones. Well, that is a mess. That is a mess. Just wandered in late, so I apologize if it's been covered. Why does Zoku sell a stubby specific skid plate? I ordered the Zoku plates and noticed that there's skid on their site, but it was sold out. For VRDs, for people that put the stubby kit, for the VFD stubby box. He was resistant to do it, but then ended up doing it. So he was only making it if somebody's asking for it. Recommendations for 2.2 very stiff inner foams or silicone inserts. How wide are your 2.2s? Get back to me, RC Jeep guy. I put the Injora 0.9 black springs on back, 1.0 whites on front. I might have to order the 0.7 purples. The D1RC is the same as the Famonda for $21, and the D1RC is $45. Which one's the Famonda? Good morning, Mr. Cross. Mythical land of New Zealand, caring for his dragon egg. There's a clone of the Deluxe Portal, but it has the 3-gear bolt pattern. Is it Deluxe Portal? So, OD3 or different from the OD3? What's the best way to get into the Enduro 1/10 platform? Buy a roller Sendero. I really like the Bushido, but wish the body was a little more in scale. Yeah, I get that. I would have said, in times gone by, I would have said that the best way to get into it is a builder's kit. But now we can't have those. They won't let us have those anymore. They took them away. So used, I don't know, find a used enduro. Like I tell people, I have what I call deep parts bins, so I can get away with buying SEs because I can turn an SE into a non-SE pretty quickly without having to go out and buy stuff. I understand that for a lot of people that's not an outright possibility. They can't just make it into whatever they want. Like, I don't explicitly have a problem with plastic links and stuff like that and bushings, but I can replace them as well. So I don't want to sound hypocritical and be like, oh, get this super cheap one, when a lot of people won't have the stuff to make it to what they want. So start with an enduro that's more trimmed. And I mean, I loathe telling anyone to go out and buy any form of RTR element because, well, honestly, and this is a backhanded compliment, the 2-in-1 gearbox, the 2-in-1 receiver / ESC they're doing now, it's actually better than, the SC480 was as bad as it gets. So what they're doing now is actually less worse, if that's a thing. So Steel City, okay, here's my advice. You want to know what the best way to get to the Enduro platform is? Don't buy one. Buy a Stealth X kit or a Stealth XF kit. Buy yourself some SSD Diamond Pro housings and then build that thing up from nothing. If you need some Enduro rails, let me know. I'll send them to you for free. The plastics aren't that expensive. Yeah, you're probably going to spend a little bit more than buying something that's already all together. That's why I would say check used first. But you're not going to have a bunch of crap that you have to throw away. And the Diamond Pro housing, I still think, is better than the stock element housings. The stock element housings have their own set of problems, namely the tiny pinion. I love Element. I love the Enduros, but they are imperfect. Miata Commuter would like to know which rig will be dual wielding Reedy motors. I don't know. I gotta find somebody that I can quick swap a gearbox into that I can fit that plate on to run the dual motors, because I think I might want to see that as much as anyone. Can 2 Reedy Crawler 540s actually make enough torque to stop a vehicle? It is the question that I feel the universe is not going to answer for us. So we're going to have to take it upon and answer it ourselves. Have we spoken about the RCTNT shout out? Well, that's I'm Troy now. I wasn't Troy a couple days ago, but I'm Troy now. I don't know how it happened, but it's me, ya boy Troy. Just absent-mindedly. I'm going to get parts on this wrong for sure. 100%. Because I don't remember what I'm doing. They are 54 millimeters or 2.41 inches. What did I ask? Oh, no. I asked what tire, right? What, okay, more specifically, RC Jeep guy, what tires are they? That's what I should have asked. Did I miss anything special? Nah. There are a few builders kits on eBay still. Get one of those. Sent a link on the Discord for the AliExpress gearbox from Famanda. Yes. I can't remember if I told you before, but I already upgraded the price performance. Only the tires below 90 points. Awesome. Stealth X and MES portals, and you're on your way to a good rig. It's two of them. There's one, and there's the other one. Stealth X and MES portals. Geared to where they are right now, they're both like... I think the gear ratio I landed on was 59-1 final. I was just griping about this yesterday. I don't know what happened in the world, but why are all of the manufacturers banding together to give us gearboxes that have no gear reduction? Why don't they just give us more gear reduction so we can run lower turn and or higher kV motors? Because lower turn motors make more power and higher kV motors make more power, and then you have the mechanical advantage. So I would choose mechanical advantage, which is why I do things like pair MES axles to stealth gearboxes. And I mean, the stealth has the same ratio as a... That's actually a little low. I still want to build a crawler that in the middle of it has a Traxxas Magnum, because that's 2.72 internal, which is lower than most every gearbox out there other than, well, OD3 is lower, and they call it a portal box. I don't know. My VRD already has the stubby conversion. My concern after seeing the Zoku skid was that my stock skid with the stubby conversion not working with the Zoku plates I just bought. I don't think it's a problem, because this is a VRD skid in Zoku rails and it fits. So I think it'll work. I think it'll work. If it'll work one way, it'll work the other way. I think. No promises. I don't know. I think. I honestly think I used 60% of what came in the Element Enduro Builders kit. Yeah. More often than not, when you buy a builder's, when I bought the builder's kit to build Zobazu, the Basecamp builder's kit, I used the axles, the links, and the gearbox. That's it. I didn't use any parts of the chassis. Do you actually know the RC TNT guy? No, he lives in the other, one of the other mythical lands, the one on the other side of the planet, down where everything tries to kill you. No, I totally don't know that guy. We've talked in YouTube comments a couple times, and that's the extent of it. But no, I do not know him. I was commenting back and forth on, he had done a video on, might have been VRD, and I commented on his VRD video, and he commented back, and I was talking about how Vanquish, about how the claim that the industry will throw out, and I use industry as a singularly negative term, that the industry will throw out, oh, people don't want to buy kits, they only want RTRs. How do you know? You sell one kit. You sell one kit and 17 RTRs. Oh, what? You sell more RTRs than you sell kits? I can't believe it. I'm running a Rhino 80 and a 4250 Outrunner 900 kV on 4S in my axial wraith. Stout. Why don't you recommend the Traxxas TRX4 for a first crawler? I get the defend. Did I say that I didn't? The TRX4 Sport Kit was one of my greatest recommendations until they discontinued it out from under us. The Traxxas Sport is a fantastic first crawler. It has a lot of room to grow. It is outdated. I mean, the most that they've updated on it since it came out was it doesn't use clips to put the body on. And that's it. But underneath, it's still exactly the same. I have a lot of rigs that are on TRX4 axles. It kind of straddles that spot between bashing and crawling. But a TRX4 Sport out of the box is not RTR. It's too slow to go fast and too fast to go slow. You have to change the spur gear and the pinion gear, and you got to cut and sipe the tires, and you got to bake the tires off of the wheels. You have to spend money. You got to put money into it. A TRX4 is great, and it has expansion capabilities, and you can do a lot of things with it. Defenders are great. The Sports are great. The Broncos and the Blazers and all of them, the new Broncos, they're all great. But they are now very expensive, and they're kind of getting beaten out. I mean, if it comes down to, like today, if you have the money and you're going to put the money down on a TRX4 Defender, you could buy the FCX10 from FMS that does way more stuff for less money. It doesn't have a TQI outdated radio. It's got an 11-channel FlySky radio that you can turn your drag brake off from the radio. You can turn your lights on and off from the radio. You can unlock and lock diffs. You can have a 2-speed. Traxxas needs to update the TRX4 or bring back the kit. If they bring back the kit, all is forgiven. If Troy is not your name, then what shall I call you? Troy is fine. I'm absolutely fine with Troy. There are those who call me Tim, and there are also those who call me Tony, and apparently Gus. I can be any of those four. It's interchangeable. Mr. C, I just received new Mias portals, and the front feels a bit crunchy and has some resistance when turning. Okay, does it feel resistance when you do this, or does it feel resistance when you do this? That is an important distinction, because when you do this, the portals are fighting against you, and then you're trying to make the big gear turn the little gear. It's a lot easier for the little gear to turn the big gear, whereas if I try to spin this, this is pretty smooth. It's an F10 portal. But yeah, sometimes it will feel, oh, this feels way smoother because it's not a portal. But yeah, sometimes it will feel very crunchy if you try to spin them from the axle. And it's what is it, hypoid? It's the type of gear. They don't like it. They're fighting it. Straight cut gears like TRX4, you'll notice you can turn TRX4 gears pretty easily because they run straight cut gears. Trojan horse. Just imagine the earwigs in Australia. They put saddles on them. Would you recommend any Endura shocks for the UTB 18 or not extremely expensive? I think you can get these in really short. I think they make these, or the AliExpress versions, they make them in like 80s or 85s. And I think you put 80s on a UTB 18, I think. Because there's Dravtex. Dravtex sells a specific set, but I do acknowledge those are kind of expensive. The multiple groups in and don't talk kits at all. It's unfortunate, and brands sit and listen there. Ugh. Maybe all the no reduction boxes is to help keep less weight up high. Yeah, but that is a bad trade. That's a bad trade. We are all willing to accept a little bit of a CG bump for gear reduction. I will trade, and I did. The brothers, the jungle. So these guys were initially built on OD3s, fake OD3s, and they're now on stealths, which would have raised the CG a little bit because the top of the gearbox is up there, and the top of the gearbox on the OD3 is lower than the top of the motor. But I will take the ease of use and more gearing availability options. And that's a terrible example I've just made because the OD3 also has a lot of gear reduction inside. I'm talking TRX4 box, Capra box, Rift box, 10.3, 10.2's fine. Even VFD on straight axles doesn't really have enough. I want to see, for me, the starting point is 40 to 1 final. And we got guys doing around 30, 33 to 1. I think the H10 is 33 to 1. Okay, it's going up. I like the mystery. I bet 80% plus in the industry themselves would prefer a kit over an RTR, but 80% of what they offer is RTR. Because RTR makes more money. And if they would just, here's the thing. I appreciate truth in advertising, and I know that I appreciate it because we never see it. If they came out and said, we sell RTRs because they make more money, okay. I still think an a la carte, and someone pointed out that it's globalization is what it is. They're not assembling the stuff that they ship out in-house. That's done in a faraway land by people with tiny hands. So yeah, they're saving money all around. I would love to see an a la carte system like what we see at Deluxe, so that you could actually spec together the thing you want to build. But we never will, because they'll still make more money with less effort by having all their production and boxing and everything done overseas. So we get what we get, and they tell us not to get upset, but we shake our fists at the sky. Henceforth, Troy is how you should be known. Oh, or Tony, or Gus. You told me your name when I met you a year ago, and I forgot. I'll try to pull the loose pin in the gear as well as the yeah. Also, yeah. Make sure when they're not connected. Will this focus? Focus. I command it. Okay. Pick. We'll use a pick. So we'll put a pick through right here. Okay. Ready? Ready? Wait. See how much I can move that? That's the lash. So when the drive shaft is attached, it can't fall in. Because if you push that in and turn it, it really grinds. But if you pull it back and turn it, it stops grinding. So yeah, all that lash is built in. And sometimes you will see the manufacturer will include a little shim right here to keep it pulled back even more snug. Virtually every ring and pinion requires shimming, except ones like this. They do their carrier better than most other people do their carriers. Oh, I just scrolled up on accident. The fake drafts come in 75 if I'm correct. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, whatever the smallest fake draft tech you can get, that's what I would put on a UTV 18. The mad scientist of makers has resorted to building Tamiya buggies due to the lack of crawler kits. Man. Looks like you have too many syllables in your name, so nobody calls you by your name. Yeah, I'm monosyllabic over here. I have, Mike Cross has huge news from the land of myths and dragons. Stealth X with Mias. It's so good. Is it not good? It's good. A big what's up to our buddy sitting to your left. Yeah, you met that guy. Stinky J met that guy. It's normal for hypoid gears to pull in without a drive shaft. Put shims in between the E-clip and the bearing. I don't think I have a single one of these. There's that little space right there where there should be an E-clip. I don't think I have a single one of them where the drive shaft will fit on with the E-clip. And that's because the drive shafts all have this little snoot on the end of it. And then if I had a cut to fit here, I would show you that the cut to fit has no snoot. So if you're running any type of OE drive shaft, it's probably not going to fit with the E-clip. I had Mr. Cross, I had to look up the BBX to see what it was, and I was like, not the Hot Shot. Is it the Hot Shot? They just remade a buggy from 40 years ago, didn't they? It's like a re. Is there a cheater frame like the Zoku for a TRX4 transmission and axles? I have been bugging him for like a year. I go, why is there no TRX4 Zoku? And his paraphrased words in person, not over the internet, were basically, oh, I'm like 85% done and have been for a year and just haven't finished it. So, go to ZokoRC.com, send him an email, tell him I sent you, and be like, where's my TRX4 chassis? He also has an Element chassis that's almost done, and he hasn't finished that one either. So, light a fire under him. Did you see John Holmes' video today? It's about shaking your fists at clouds and getting old. I'm living it. I'm living it. I haven't watched it, but now I'm going to have to because I'm living it. Thank you, Andre, for throwing out 5. The sawtooth goes up for a few days. We'll have sawtooth up for a couple days. If we can just keep this a pattern until I die, then we will we'll be doing all right. I have no idea. Oh, we should mic. So we need 9 and 3 is 12 and 7 is 20 and a bit. So 24s. 24s are what I need. I'm still digging through this bin like a savage. That's a 22. I can work with that. The chat is going to get away from me while I try to find 2 24mm screws. It's my own fault. That's a 22. All of a sudden, for somehow, I don't know why, but all of a sudden we have a surplus of 22s. Bearded Brian with a capital T. It's the first brand new 2-wheel dry buggy from Tamiya in 40 years. Oh, okay. So it just looks like it's 40 years old. They're nostalgia farming. I'm okay with that. I'm fine with that. Okay, we're gonna have to make some questionable decisions to get this thing pre-assembled, and I'll let you know why here in a moment. Because I made, oh, that's way too long. I needed 22s. All right, I'll be back. Ooh, I have a surplus of 22s. Did I not just mention? And now I won't be able to find a single one. That's a 20. I had to dig through all the screws yesterday to try to find some 40s, and I ruined everything. There's 22s everywhere. Is Mrs. Troy called Helen? Helen of Troy! Element chassis would be huge. Everything for the cause of the sawtooth. Contribute to the Canyon Sawtooth. The members will come. They will stay for a short time and they will leave. So I have a channel membership to one channel. I pay for a channel membership to the Yogscast because I've been watching the Yogscast since 2008. Okay, that's what, 16 years? I figure after 16 years, now that I make a scratching from YouTube, I'm like, I can throw $4.99 a month towards the Yogscast. They did a members video a couple days ago. They have a whole production team. They must have close to like 80 employees at the whole thing. They did a member video, and at the end of it, it has a Star Wars type ticker, goes by at the end. The member list must have scrolled by for 5 minutes. And I'm like, well, they've been around. They have 7 million subscribers. It should not surprise me at all that they have that many members. But, I'm a little jealous. You know what? That's not true. My goal, I never thought I would hit 1,000 subs, much less 5,000. We're at 8,000. If I could hit 10, I would be completely content. Legitimately. 10 would be grand, as they say. Which apparently to the Irish just means okay. Like if they say that, oh, that's grand. It just means like it's fine. I mean it in the American sense of grand. It would be absolutely grand. So he's procrastinating for the punishment. He has to dress up like the Teletubbies. Ooh, and do karaoke. Absolutely. I'll let him know. He's got like a real job and stuff, so we can't be too bad on it. We can't be too hard on him. We can be pretty hard on him, but we can't be too hard on him. He's got to go to work. He's got a young kid. He's got all the life responsibilities. My kids are adults. My oldest one is completely nocturnal from video games. So he's fast asleep right now. He'll wake up about 5:30 this evening, stay up all night, go to bed about 9 a.m. That's living the life from what I understand. Hex hardware, but yeah, I looked at a little bit of the specs on the BBX. But I just, honestly, my thought was that they just updated an existing design. It's cool that it's all new, though. And I might find myself wondering how I got here. Oh man, I never put the Troy... I'm Troy McClure. I never put the Troy McClure connection together. You might remember me. Boom Racing Hustlers. Tamiya has been nostalgia farming for 20 years. You can make the argument even longer. I would say the nostalgia farming probably started in the 90s. Here for a good time, not for a long time. I've been using that one for my whole life. I think I grew up on Here for a good time, not for a long time. So I'm building my first 1/10 in a carbon LCG chassis. Stealth X is the gearbox you'd go with. Yeah. And it's normal bolt pattern. So you can bolt it on whatever skid you've got, you just bolt it in there. And like I say, build it forward, build it backward. You can build it lay down. You can build it motor forward. You can do anything. It's so good. It's all about the nylon main gears because they got a lot of teeth. So you're not going to strip them out or nothing. And having underdrive inside the gearbox is a huge advantage because then you either don't have to futz with the axles or you can put underdrive, overdrive in the other axles and get yourself absolutely bonkers underdrive, overdrive. Can you make your memberless scroll last 5 minutes if you make it go real slow? Okay, who said that? Svax. You better watch out because there's going to be a video that's going to have a 5-minute member scroll at the end of it. And it'll be like, it's going to have to go about that speed. Oh, it's perfect. Phil Hartman. That's another. Wasn't it his wife went crazy and shot him? Why? Okay, maybe it just doesn't get publicized, but how come you never hear about that happening to non-famous people? I mean, I'm assuming it does. People get shot by their wives all the time.
Non-famous people aren't newsworthy?
Yeah. Until you do something newsworthy. So, in theoreticals, yeah, it was his wife. So there's old people here. We're all old people together. Oh, what was her name? Okay. Some of us will remember Mork and Mindy. The guy from Spain won't remember Mork and Mindy. But the lady from Mork and Mindy, the young lady, Erin something. Oh, I've forgotten her name. I feel shameful. But like she had like a stalker, and somebody knocks at the door, and Pam Dauber, yeah, and she opens the door, and he just like what? Like what? That's pretty much what happened to Selena, too. I would hope, above all other things, that I shall, in my life, never achieve a level of fame that someone thinks, you know what I should do? Kill that guy. If you want to kill me, let it be for other reasons and not level of fame. That I'm willing to accept. John Bobbitt wasn't famous before. That's true. That's true. And she cut off his willy. Yeah, I was pretty confident the old folks would remember Mork and Mindy. I'm going to show you a thing here. If I can get screws put in and we can do a thing, I'll be able to do an additional thing, which is show you more Vanquish ridiculous sublime hack bodging. And it comes courtesy of the VRD 4-link front end. It's fun. It's fun. I like to hold things at impossible angles. HVOT 3. What did you say about me? Couldn't hear. I said that you have definitely not watched Mork and Mindy. Because that lunatic shot Pam Dauber dead a long time ago. Oh my God, he was born after 9/11. Because he's what, like 18, 19? Troy got the missus with me. Can you say hi, Claire? Hi, Claire. Claire and Ed. I have a sister-in-law named Claire, but no I. She's just Clare. She's a spicy meatball, that one. Does that translate to other Claires? Are other Claires zesty ladies? I don't, because I only know one. And like, she'll try to fight you. That kind of spicy. She drives a Jeep. She talks loud. This was also nice to set up yesterday because no CMS, thankful, and 7mm balls throughout, which is plus bonus. Of course, I can't get this lower link in. You know what I could be doing, though? I'm doing it wrong. Here we go. Why are you here if not to watch me struggle with my own inabilities? So I'm trying to get this. Maybe the camera will help. This is what most of rig building looks like. Trying to get a screw into a hole when neither the screw wants the hole nor does the hole want the screw. And you will note here from this camera, we've got wacky low-high clearance links, and that is because this is not a VRD nor a ZRD. This is hackbodge equipment. The upper links hit the motor mounts. So I thought about flipping them inverted, but I think we would just trend to over travel that way anyway. And it's pretty smooth this way. So you know what we're going to do? That's right, everybody. We're not going to worry about it. That is a problem for future me. Future me will deal with that. Rebecca Schaefer. Pam Dauber's still alive. Oh, I killed the wrong person. I didn't kill anybody. Mentally, I assumed the wrong person was dead. Yeah, 21. She says hi. That took her by surprise. Hey, if I can scare somebody, I scare my niece every opportunity. She wears Crocs, and that's a big part of the reason why I try to scare her as often as possible. On an LCG on an LCG setup, should I go portals or straight? Whatever you like. Whatever you like. Straights will bring your CG down even more at the expense of ground clearance. So, if the areas that you crawl, like if you came here and you were in the canyon, you would be praying for more clearance because it is craggy out there. If you're in like the deserts of Utah, the clearance is not nearly as critical because their surfaces are a lot smoother. So it really depends. It is definitely a trade-off. General Motors is bringing back the Pontiac. I thought that was like an April Fool's thing. Is that real? I was almost positive that was an April Fool's thing. If that's real, I would be astonished. Pam Dauber, not dead, is married to Mark Harmon, also not dead. My 4-year-old is Kimberly Claire. She's feral and bites. I think that's all 4-year-olds. Yeah, Rebecca Schaefer. Hey, look at how long ago she died. I'm allowed to forget things. I forgot what I was doing right now. I'm definitely going to forget who got killed 40 plus years ago. How about straight uppers? I might. I don't get the whole Crocs hype. They're gross. They're gross. And my favorite piece of that internet trivia is that they're basically a joke because when Mike Judge was making Idiocracy, they wanted to get shoes for people to wear in the future where everyone was an idiot. And Crocs wasn't even a brand yet. So they supplied all the Crocs to the movie Idiocracy long before the shoes were available to the public. So future morons wear Crocs. That was a really surprise. That's a bold choice by Crocs. That they were like, yes, Crocs, the shoe of idiots. I don't like them. I don't like them. The deserts of Arizona. Yeah, deserts of Arizona, deserts of Utah. Those are identical cousins. I am doing no fastener management. I am grabbing screws out of a bucket. They're different heads. They're different lengths. We're just trying to get it put together. That's what we're trying to do here in the moment. That's a free swinger there. Now, we got to get the shocks on it to really experience it. But the front end on a VRD is very limited in its triangulation. You've got about an inch on the upper and on the lower, and on the upper you have a quarter of an inch, maybe 7 millimeters. So when it's all assembled and has shocks and everything, you can look at the links relative to the frame. There's nothing you can do about that. That's because those upper links are just straight. But they have to be straight because it misses the gearbox by a millimeter. They are 2.2 by 2.14, and they say cops. Okay, 2.14 is like an exceptionally medium width. What you're going to want to get yourself are these are the stock foams out of a 2-2 Canyon trail. The inner is every bit, oh my God, that is too close. No, that's harder. The foam that comes in an H10 is harder than the inner from a 2-2 Canyon trail. Not a lot harder, I mean, but you can see. You would almost think that was cut out of the same roll of material. Meanwhile, the outer is like, yeah, these are great dual stage foams. They really are. And I think Irwin, I wasn't ignoring it. I think it went by real fast. He was asking about testing the Revolt inserts. Now, I don't know if he meant these or if he meant the ones that are in the Canyon Trails, the 1.9 Canyon Trails. These are for 2.2 Canyon Trails, and I will be testing both in the upcoming week. I will be testing the 2.2 Revolt in the 2.2 Canyon Trail, and I will be testing the 1.9 Revolt in the 1.9 Canyon Trail. So that's coming up. Straight uppers with offset ends. Well, the uppers don't need any offset at all because they just run straight. They're basically parallel with the rails. Like I said, I was thinking about flipping these upside down, but it already, like, that is probably too much up travel already. Like, I don't think we're actually going to get that much, I don't think we're going to get that much up travel. There are going to be shocks involved. That one hits before, and I think that's about right where, I don't even know. With a 96, I don't think we're going to get that much up travel or down travel. So it's a semi mock-up. We're mocking it up. If you ain't crocking, you ain't rocking. Gonna wanna is a term. It's completely acceptable. You're gonna wanna. I don't have an accent. That's just how we talk here. What you're gonna wanna do. Test all of them. Well, I mean, that's the goal. It's not a shoe, though, we can agree. No. 3SBRC, yeah, the Croc is not a shoe. It's like okay, if the definition of shoe is stops your foot from contacting the ground, then I guess technically the Croc is a shoe, but I feel like there's better ways to go about it. I don't like them. My dentist refuses. When she went through medical school, she refused. All the residents and everything, all of them wore Crocs, and she wouldn't do it. She said the Crocs were giving up, and the furthest she would go was New Balance. So she would rock the New Balance. She goes, but they won't catch me dead in Crocs. And I was like, that's right. You have to have your self-respect. Crocs are jail shoes. Mr. Yates, I definitely considered running from the outside. The sliders say no, sir, you shall not. I think straight uppers would probably give me the clearance I need, but this is kind of a test within a test, because I want to see if that physical travel limit in the front, I want to see if it even makes itself noticeable. I have a sneaking suspicion that it's not going to. I hope that a member of the group, someone in there, is asking themselves, how is he getting around the problems of a mullet? How is he counteracting the mulleting? Oh, and RC Jeep Guy, thank you so much. I'm going to blow that money on coffee. Would you go with Mias axles over Injora? Yeah. Now, if you're talking about that HD44 clone, there is a version of it on Amazon that's physically identical in every way to the Mias version, but is only like $90 for the pair. So cheap. But the Mias portal, the nylon portals, those are still my go-tos for, let's be honest, most of the time, because they're great. Now, I have 9mm spacers on these rod ends for a reason, which may not be clear and will become clear, hopefully sooner than later. Idiocracy is a documentary, yeah. When are you testing the 65-turn motor on 4S? I had completely forgotten. I had forgotten about that entirely. And I still need to do that. And the brothers are the perfect guys to do things like that. Because, as I said, the higher turn count you get, the lower kV you get, the less power the motor makes. So we're asking a lot of that 65 turn. I've got an 80 turn as well. And an 85. I just want to test some really high turn stuff on 4S to see if it's like remotely viable. Did somebody ask a question? I missed it. Oh, is there a method to picking link lengths? Math, measuring, how do I know the correct lengths? So I have read talk where people talk about 80% is the sweet spot. I've seen between 80 and 90. I've seen between 70 and 80. With instances like this, I'll just come right out and tell you. Here it is. Here's how it works. You've got your pinion, right? So the rear link is, the lower link is what we're using to set our wheelbase, okay? Then we have to set our upper link. So we put our pinion angle where we want it, and then I measure from that mounting point to the center mounting point in that little daisy. There's a little daisy shape with a hole in the middle, and then I build a link to that length. Whatever length that link comes out, and you will notice, see the pinion swing? See how we have no angle change? I think the upper link is actually a couple millimeters longer than the lower link. We will see how this, but I mean, look at what we can do. That is, there is no resistance. We will see how that affects us. There's a lot of stuff here that is question marks. I would also like to point out to you that without suspension on it, that will sit with the belly on the ground. The rear axle could go higher. It's only stopping because it's hitting the rails. These rails would be sitting down on the front. And would you like to know why I didn't change those links to straights and that's not sitting on the front? Notice this is almost perfectly level to the ground. Mullet stuff! So I'm allowing further up travel in the rear than in the front because I don't think the front's going to need as much. We're mulleting here. We're leaning into it, and I'm just making it up as I go along. I stripped a bolt, changing the gears in my Mia straight front, squeaky butt. Yeah. Yeah, I take, on all the Mias axles, I take out those little button heads and discard them and replace them with the multitude of, I wanted to use a 2mm driver. So I have tons and tons of M2.5 screws with the 2.5 heads that use the 2mm driver, and I just replace them all with that. Because those little button head ones, they concern me. Flip the ring gear in the rear. You can't. The housing and the third member on an F10 are both handed. You can't put one, you can't flip the ring gear over. If I could, I absolutely would, because that would be the way to do it. You also cannot flip the ring in a, well, you can't flip it anyway. It's high pinion, so you can't flip them at all. You have to run a reverse. You can't run a reverse in here because the reverse runs on the other side. To my knowledge, an AR-44 can do it, and a Mias can do it because they're not handed, so they can run a reverse gear. An F10 or an F10 Portal cannot run a reverse gear. If someone has succeeded in getting it done, let me know what reverse gear you bought, because it wouldn't fit in here. It's sitting in a bin right over there. And because of that reverse gear resulted in me absolutely scrambling to source the bits to make this thing rotate the right direction. And I still, in this moment, have no idea if it's going to work. Can you do servo behind axle on this rig? Yes, but you would have to run a shorty kit because there's not enough room. The shorty kit moves this thing way back. Way back. So, yes. On this one, no. On a VFD, yes. Yeah, stubby kit. Might switch my Element 4-wheel steer to mullet just for fun. Element can swap. Yes, Element can just flip-flop because they're center drive. I know this. I found this out the same way everyone has done it, which is accidentally assembling, putting it back together with the ring gear on the wrong side, and then the wheels turn towards each other. Because any center drive, high pinion gears, you can't flip them. Yes, Ed Scrivener is correct. You can't flip it. Two-gear remote transfer case. Newer F10 has flippable. Not well, you can't. Well, then these must be older because there's a groove. I have one right here. I'm doing that thing again where I'm speaking in. We'll just go into the axle parts. So see that groove right there. You'd have to have two of those grooves. This one is, as you can see, brand new. This was the Falcon Phoenix front axle housing, never even run. So if they've updated the F10, I have yet to see it. And here is the third member, and you can see, we'll just go to this one. You can see clearly on the third member, there's the groove for the ring gear. It would have to have a ring on the other side, a groove on the other side for the ring, and it does not. So they are not flippable. If there's an F10 that is flippable, I have not seen it. It is the same reason. Here's an AR-45. AR-45 definitely not flippable. There's the little bulge where the ring gear goes, so that's not flippable. But F9, Capra, yeah, 100%. They don't have a left or a right. You could just flip the ring one way or the other. And then Element, same thing, just shaped like a box. So if there's a flippable F10, I haven't seen it. Will you pull off the rear diff cover and show the inside, please? Okay, so he wants a rear axle. Oh, well.
There's no diff cover.
Well, if there is double in the back, it doesn't help a mullet. Because I don't want 50% underdrive. So you have to either run an overdrive gear in here or run a flipped big underdrive gearbox like a two-low flipped around the other way. So for a mullet, the ability to change this gear is not important. It's not going to help me. I'm running an 824 back here, and unless somebody makes an 824 reverse, which I don't think there's anything other than an 830 reverse, I can't flip that gear because I have to run an 824. So it would have been nice to be able to flip the front, which would have solved the problems, but we can't flip the front. So I can't, I mean, I'm not faulting Vanquish for it. I don't think that they envisioned mullets as a thing. I don't think they would condone. But yeah. So I didn't even look at the back one, because I bolted an 824 into it and was done, because I need that 20% overdrive to help take away. Now, I could have gotten away with an 827, but I can't get away with an 830 because there's 6.5% in the box as well. And which leaves me at I did all the math, and well, if they envision the, well, okay, so Brian, if they envision the mullet, so you can put a reverse gear, but there's no such thing as a reverse 827 or 824. At least I know, at least in my knowledge, I know. If okay, so you can run a reverse, and so you can't flip. You can run a reverse, but you can only get a reverse in 830. Here's what I'm trying to get across. It doesn't help me. It doesn't help me. I have a reverse 830, but I can't put a reverse 830 in there, because if I did, I'd have 46% underdrive all the time, and that's just a little bit too much. I would like to be in the like 20 to 25% range. Now, building the T-case thing, I guess I could have actually done it, but we're going to pretend that never happened. It's the best way to stay sane. I think that's an 18. I think that's an 18. If there had been an easier way, 827 reverse. Oh. Why high pinion? Is it because the larger surface area contact is strong? I mean, honestly, I don't know. I think the gears are high pinion because there are high pinion axles in real life. I don't know if they did it for any other reason. I mean, it does keep your drive shaft out of the ground, so you're just going to drag the bottom of the pumpkin instead of dragging the drive shaft. Drive shafts on straight axles get myrtleated. And I had mocked this up on 90s, so we're going to see how bad of a mistake that was when we put it together on 96s. What is the build for? As usual, body, tires, or wheels? The body is decided. Wheels and tires will be determined by what the rig lets me know that it likes. That's how we're going to do that. which is to say, I don't know. My absolute last scraps of Delrin. I don't know where it all went, but it went.
Big Ford transmission.
Yeah. Yeah, Curry high pinion. Better drive shaft angle on lifted vehicles. There you go. Oh, you can flip the third member and just forget about the clearance. Oh. Just run it upside down. That's a Matt's off-road recovery move. Reverse 833 for the 10-2. Nice. Well, my approach at a fix is more labor intensive and far less elegant. Running a third member upside down would feel super weird to me, even knowing that you can do it. We're gonna have to oh yeah, we're gonna have to lay those down more, I think. Let's see. Well, I'll know more closely when I get the front shocks installed as well. And it's most easy. I think I remember the hole that they're mounted through. I think. I'm going for more reduction in a non-OD Stealth X 4-gear. Well, I mean, I get lazy, so big reduction for me would be Stealth X and TRX 4 portals, which is a lot. A lot. You can get 100 to 1. I got 100 to 1 on the Tranquish when I built him. I was not ready. For how much gear reduction that thing had. Ended up having to put a belt drive on it to get him down to like, I want to say his final now is in the 70s, 72 to 1 something. You can put a Traxxas motor pin on axial to remove noise. How is that? Axial pinions aren't as good as Traxxas pinions. Vanquish pinions aren't as good as Traxxas pinions. Nobody's pinions are as good as Robinson pinions. Some people make better pinions. Yeah, axial pinions are terrible. And yet, I never throw them away. I still have them over here all in a box. You don't have to flip the entire third member. Just flip the ring gear because the bearing caps, it's easy. That doesn't work. If you've done that, I want to see photographic evidence of you having done that, because so a high point gear, oh, that's the reverse. Oh no, that is an underdrive gear. Okay, I got an underdrive gear. Okay. This is really hard to do in my hand. Here's what I'm doing over here. I'm twiddling around with it. I'm rotating this, and now I imagine if this is flipped over like that, now this, so we've got this gear, and note the orientation, note the direction of the teeth. Now, if we flip it around the other way, the teeth are going the opposite direction. So this doesn't mesh into this like this. But when it's like this, it does. They just fall right together, and see how it drives through the gear like that? If you reverse this gear, it's actually reversed. It's now the teeth are aiming the wrong direction. The vanes are pointing backward, But when it's that way, the vanes are pointing forward. You can't just flip it around. That's why they sell a reverse gear. Now, you could turn it upside down and just make it low pinion. But if some of the things, I don't know. I've never seen these things. Here's what I do know. I've tried to do these things. I have tried to flip the gear around. I've tried to run a reverse gear. I wouldn't have done what I did if I could get this to work in any other way, but I couldn't. So we are where we are right now. Because I'll tell you right now, you can't fit a reverse gear in that F10 straight without cutting into the axle housing. It never occurred to me to cut into the axle housing, but it is pretty thick plastic, so it occurs to me, I guess you probably could do it. But what is the best pinion is just a matter of opinion. No, it's Robinson Racing pinions. That's not a matter of opinion at all. They make the best pinions. That's a fact. That is an irrefutable fact. They make the best pinions. Protec pinions cost more and are garbage. Traxxas pinions are fine. Axial pinions are terrible. Vanquish pinions are slightly above axial pinions, but still not great. If it's in here, it is. That's a Robinson Racing. I could go through almost every rig in here, and it's going to have a Robinson Racing pinion in it, because I start with crap pinions from Amazon where you buy them in 5-packs, and then when we get to the gearing that we know we need, then we put a good pinion on it. Robinson, absolute. U4 buggies have been turning 9-inch rear ends upside down for a long time. They just fill them up higher to keep them from starving pinion bearings of oil. Then they run their engines backwards. Yeah. Yeah, Diamond Pro and KYX are reversible. Yeah, if the housing is symmetrical, AR-44, Element, any of those, yeah, you can just flip them straight over. Oh, I completely missed out. What's the best pinion as a matter of opinion? You should have done O-pinion, and then I would have been like, hey. Yeah, I choose my own method of violence over running my third member upside down, because running my third member upside down, no offense to anyone intended, feels a little too Vanquish for me. That is definitely more of a bodge than a hack. We'll just turn it upside down. We're going to go by the hole that gets us level-ish. And I think that's all the way up. Okay. Okie doke. We'll see how this works. I need 22s, I think. 20. My stockpile of 22s has been horribly polluted by 20s, because as I was sorting out Traxxas hardware bags, I was getting super lazy, and 20s and 22s just looked close. But I did miss a bit of, I'm pretty sure two things are needed that you don't have if you don't have a reverse trans. Reverse rotation of ring gear and ring gear on opposite side as front. Any way you want to achieve that. Yes. I hate it when my third member gets turned upside down. Man, I tell you what, you were right there. Have you tried an AliExpress axle that you can reverse the gear? No, I refuse to bend. I will not bend to the will. We were here to make Vanquish axles and a Vanquish gearbox with some Vanquish parts and a vanquished body, spoilers, and make a mullet out of it. So Vanky Mullet is where we're going. I don't care if it's not the first one. It's going to be the stupidest one. And nobody can, you know what? There's nobody here that can physically stop me. So we're going to Frank Sinatra this shiz. And if it's terrible, then you can't take any blame for it. I'm gonna claim all the blame and be like, I was told to do things differently, and I refused, and I still refuse, and I will maintain that refusal as long as the capability within my body remains to maintain that refusal. That rear axle identifies as a straight axle. He has no say in it. He has he has 4 more gears than the axle in front. Therefore, he's got the equipment. He can identify as whatever he wants. It doesn't change the fact that he's got a 1928 in there. He can't take that away. Because of incorporated bits, much like molded in C-hubs, he doesn't have the opportunity, like a TRX4 axle could decide that it identifies as a straight axle and then turn into a straight axle, but you can't turn these into a straight axle. So we have roughly 50% OD. No, we have 21%. So I'm looking at the droop. It's real close, but I need to go 1 hole lower. I thought I might. I thought I might. We've definitely got some stink bug. With the 96s, I think I need to switch those holes. So what is a good gearbox to replace the factory 10.3 setup? Get yourself, Mr. Hades, get yourself the clone Creeper T. I'm doing it again. Okay, I'm going to walk. Wait right here. I'll be right back. I should have switched to the other camera. You could have seen my abdomen walk by. This thing is surprising how light it is because it doesn't have a 10.3 gearbox in it. If you want to lighten up your 10.3, what you do is you take the 10.3 gearbox out of it. Okay, so you get yourself one of those Creeper Tees, and then you ask a dude that I know, that dude is me, and he will supply you with these little chiefs right here, which allow you to put the motor mount up there, and then you put the gearbox right there, the Creeper T, and then boom, bam, and then look at that. Low, it will, because this is adjustable, you can alter this angle. You can fit a 540. I don't know if you can fit a 550, but it will clear an outrunner, no problem. And changing to this Creeper T setup over a 10.3 gearbox only takes off 1 full pound. Like, that CJ is light. Oh, okay. So we've got 1928 in here. We're running an 824 in there, which actually takes it down to 15% overdrive in the rear. But then there's 6.5% in the box. So we're running 21.5% underdrive in the rear. And I'm actually really happy with that, because right around 20 is kind of where I'm happiest. My first thought would have been to go with an 827 in the rear, but I think I'm glad I went with the 824, because that would have been another 10%, so we would have been at 31%. The jumps are pretty big. I think I can loosen these and just finagle it. A little wiggly. A little wiggly. As I said, mocked up on 90s, and then had a brilliant idea to put the 96s on it. Yeah, I think 21.5% is going to be pretty sweet, because as we learned from building rigs with a lot, like you get into that VRD range, 38%. Basically anything over 30, there are a lot of tires that basically just don't like it. They just don't like it. And I would rather have the option to run a lot of different tires rather than have a huge amount of underdrive, because truth be told, there are instances where that huge underdrive tries nothing more than to hold you back. It's like, oh, you think you're going to get up that? Well, I'm going to stop your rear wheels from getting purchased. Yet at the same time, like VRD, ZRD, they can definitely make those big numbers work. I'm finding more and more instances where I'm comfortable in 46% on a Phoenix, when previously I would have been like, 46%? Are you insane? But it can work. I don't know about running that all the time. I should not have put that other screw in there already. What am I doing? Like I say, I can't remember nothing. And that's the story that I'm sticking to. Can you get 20-ish% in an element? Yeah. Yeah. Well, yes and no. Yes and no. With element axles, you can get 18. If you change to Diamond Pros or AR44s, you can have whatever you want. You can have 40. You can have 50. But on the Element gearbox, on a Stealth X gearbox with Element axles, the best you can do is 18. Nobody makes overdrive or underdrive gears for Element because of their wee tiny pinions, and then you're just limited to what you get in the box. So the brothers, the twins over there, they run the 2555 gears from the Stealth XF, which will get you 18%. And 18% is honestly fantastic. 18% is great. I think 18 to 25 is where I like to live, underdrive wise. I've got a couple that have more. I have a number that have less. For the longest time, Lil Yellow ran none, because he had a dig box and Element axles. So he was 50-50 split, zero underdrive, overdrive. That's good. But I gotta move these around. I just want to get it to sit flattish, and then I'll do something like, I don't know. I'll do something more impactful. I mean, you know, but even the Spanish guy can't get on me, because this almost looks like progress, to my eye at least. It looks at the very least like I've done something. Yeah, the 1.5 millimeter holes maybe a little small. Could actually go a little bit bigger. Do I have a 1.6 millimeter drill bit? Maybe. I haven't looked through my numeric bits, but I might have a 1.6. Yeah, 6 millimeter longer on the shock is obvious statement of the day. Longer. But we have 6 millimeter hole spacing on these. Oh, that's right. K&K has the 25%. Yeah. They've got 2456. Yeah, Team K&K does. Yeah. I completely forgot about the 25. Yeah. So yeah, you absolutely can. I never even think. 100% overdrive, aka dig. Yeah. Or front wheel drive would be 100% overdrive. Just dragging the rear end around. Okay, yeah, that's better. That's better. That's a lot. That's going to be a lot. More than we need. And also at the very same time, may end up on 90s before we're done. Those links, like as it's so, we give it a push and we kind of let it settle. That is dead level. I'm leveling it with a ruler. You know, use a ruler level. What are you doing? I mean, I guess I could do this. 40, 38. Still a little bit tail high. We'll see. You know, none of this is guaranteed. I've never made a Vanquish mullet before. I don't know if it's going to work. The Spanish guy. It's the Spanish guy. He is a Spanish guy. He's from Spain. That's a Spanish guy, right? We're just gonna slapdash some stuff together. I'm gonna make it move back and forth. That's a threat. We can't make promises, but I am gonna make it move back and forth. I'm gonna put power to it. As I said, there's nobody here to stop me. Nobody can stop me. I'm gonna make this thing go. Do we have a Canyon community page for us to buy, sell, or trade items? Do we need one? I can put one on the Discord. It's not. That's not difficult at all. I just realized something that I've forgotten to do, and now I hate myself a little bit more than I did before I started. Which is, I forgot to put the screws into the motor mounts. So yes, Team K&K, as has been pointed out, 25%. I forget that they exist. Because, to be completely honest, obvious statement, again, we're going to roll out another one. 25% is a lot. I want dig and overdrive in my element, so it's a new gearbox and new axle scenario. That's what Yella is. I defend it by saying that he's still running element stuff on his axles. SSD Diamond Pros, but he still has... They're the Diamond Pros for element, so he's still running like element knuckles, element C-hubs. He's still got a little bit of element in him. He's got element body mounts and element sides and element links. He's got a little bit of element in him. Little. Not a lot, but a little. Now, can I get by that? No, I'm going to scratch up the shock if I try that. It's just easier to unbolt the bottom one. If I have a regret, it's forgetting to put these motor mount screws in. It's not the end of the world. These shocks feel pretty good. They're a little slow, and I had to mix up the seal pack orientation a little bit to fit the non-circlip bottoms. We're going to see how that works out. Anyone know of adjustable OD for the VFD Twin? I never use the high OD on my Phoenix because I find it kills my hill climbing. Yeah, well, here's what I used the big one for, the 46%. Here's what I use the big one for. I call it Big Dig. So when you go dig, you switch into that big overdrive, and then you can just pivot to the side. Because 46% is a real lot. Now, I have started to get into situations where, depending on what the setup of your Phoenix is, you can get into these moments where it really wants to swing the nose up. 46% will stop that. Will absolutely stop that. How to stop progress. We should put Red Cat axles on that. You know what? I'm immune to your shenaniganery. I know what you're doing. Don't ruin this thing. Don't ruin it. Did you ever do a vid on course creation, tips and tricks on course creation? Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah. More than one. There's a bunch of shorts about it too. Yeah, a couple recent Wheelin' Wednesdays. I did one on how I lay out the courses. I think it's called Wayfinder Wednesday, where Baseline comes out with us and helps lay out the course for the green line. Then I have a bunch on obstacle building, and it's all content, as they say. Ooh, yeah, that is zip tie mandatory right there. We're gonna put that wire right into the spur gear. It's gonna be fun. Just joined, and hello, fellow RCers. Hello, Forever Young RC. A cold shower hits different. Not intentionally. Red Cat is the double wide of RC. Red Cat rant. Did someone say Can I take this off? Oh, I can. Okay. So, right up here is the microphone. Can you hear that? Right up there is the microphone. Right up above the microphone. Hey, Farva. What's the name of that place with the, what is it, mozzarella sticks, chicken fingers?
Stuff all over.
And all the goofy stuff all over the walls? Oh, you mean shenanigans? So yeah, that's a real wooden sign. I made that. I had to do a bunch of stuff for Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts. So we bought one of those router guides. So I made a lot of signs. Because if you can, do. Okay, that feels all right. And now, let me finish putting the servo on. I'm trying to delay the inevitable is whatever it is. Just because I'm going to have to put on a part that I made. I swear to God, the next guy that says shenanigans gets pistol whipped. Hey, Farva! You know how those boys get when they get the syrup in them? They get all antsy in their pantsy. Yeah, come on. I'll kill you with a Super Troopers reference. I've been trying to film and put together my first set of Desert Lizards. Even with 30 years experience, it's maddening. Oh, my friend, they have no real mechanism to bleed oil out, nor any real mechanism to tell how much oil is in there. Is it overfull? Is there not enough? It's really difficult to tell. When I have on the edge of my workbench, I have a hole. I have a hole that is drilled in the workbench. And what I basically do is I loosely thread the end of the Desert Lizard into the end of my workbench, right? So I take this eye off, and I put a bunch of rags on the floor, and I put that Desert Lizard wrench on right here, and I lean forward, so the wrench is on here, and it's almost snug to where the seal is in, and I lean forward, and oil is spurbling out, and then I go, and I hold the wrench, but I turn the body, and I go, oi, and then you go like this, and if it goes to there, that's just the spring, then you know that you're pretty close. This one is not pretty close. In my defense, I did not fill that one. That one came in, but that one needs refilled. I've been telling fellas at our local chats for new guys not to buy the Red Cat Fusion. I'm getting no love. And it's great because I have a Wendigo. It's too bad you're a famous celebrity. I could see us hanging out. Oh, watch it. Listen, no pistols. No pit. If you're going to kill me for another reason. I need more screws. Obviously. All right. So, here is my hack bodge. You wouldn't get through with the ring of security. Here's my hack bodge to fix the fact that if you connected both drive shafts right now, the wheels rotate like this. They turn towards each other. Well, I said all we have to do is ATT this fella, anti-torque twist. We just need opposite spinnings. I'm sure someone managed to see that the output is a pinion gear. It is a 17-tooth, 32-pitch pinion gear. And then what I dug around is, I mentioned earlier, and this was foreshadowing, that these were my last two pieces of Delrin. These were already pre-cut. This one is 70 millimeters wide, and this one is 68 millimeters wide, but it was all I had. So it doesn't matter if this pinches it. See, it kind of goes out a little bit. I want to replace this. I don't feel like it's rigid enough. I'm going to put another 70 millimeter something, even if it's just a 70 millimeter chassis or 68 millimeter chassis spacer in the back. The front is fine because this is 70 and this is 70. So those are all nice and fine. It stiffens up the front enough. I think our up travel is plenty. Like nobody's going to up travel that much We should get no interference at flex. The longer shocks kind of solved the problem. Yeah, see, we get full. That's absolutely fine. I have no problem with any of that. So my hack bodge was we were out of Delrin. Oh, the chat's gonna do it again. It's gonna go. I got myself some phenolic. This is part of a table saw fence. And I made this little piece and I bored it out 11 millimeter and I put some flanged bearings in it. So yes, this is the Canyon adapter to change rotation. And it's made out of phenolic resin and it is completely unfinished. I ran over here to start the stream while this was still hot from the sander. So it has some little wide arms on it. It looks like a guy going like this. He's like, "Arr!" It has some little wide arms on it, and I would like to shrink it. I would also like it to be Delrin or aluminum. If I make this out of aluminum, I can make it much thinner. I can make the sides like 5 millimeter. So this one is potentially proof of concept. I may end up just using another piece of phenolic just in the middle and have screws and bolt it to something flat. What I'm trying to say in the longest of shortest methods is that this might not be the final piece. This is the piece for now. There's a 17-tooth pinion gear on there. I haven't even checked to see if this will fit. There's a 17-tooth pinion on there. There's a 17-tooth pinion on here. Or as we like to call it, 1-to-1. So this guy slides right down in here, and he doesn't because we've tightened the body mount down so he won't fit. He will slide down right into there. We have to take the rig apart a little bit of the way. I shouldn't have put this in last. I should have put it in about fourth from last. But how was I to know? I've never put this together before. It's never been all the way in. But it's doing a random headline. Are you going narrower rear track width? No. No. Question mark? Outside of hex to outside of hex in the rear. 198. Outside of hex to outside of hex in the front. 194. Okay, so I need to put 6s on the back, and then they'll be the same, right? Is that right? Yes. 5s, 6s. I need a narrower hex on the back. These were the only hexes I could get to fit. So that's what it is. It most certainly is what it is. Is it optimized? No. Is it going to work today? I don't know. I'm becoming ever less confident by the moment that this is actually going to work because I eyeballed the gear mesh for the back. And we're going to put, but phenolic resin is amazing. It will take a thread like nobody's business. When you drill it and tap it, it gets so hot. Mr. Spain, yes, freely is absolutely a thing. Freely is a word. It's also a guy in KISS. Okay. We're doing it. We're doing it. It's a transfer, like, by technical definition, is this a transfer case? This is a transfer case, isn't it? So a VRD already has a transfer case on the inside. We're just putting in another one because we need the rear to rotate the opposite direction of the front. So I am going to have to assemble a somewhat shorter rear drive shaft. Let's see. Okay, so far so good. So far so good. Stay on board with me. So far so good. KISS and Wasp. Wow, Wasp is one I have not heard in a moment. It has, okay. Thank God for fiber. Thank God for the fibers of carbon. This This is too wide relative to this. When I mocked this up, this was not installed. I either need to trim some of this width off, which I can't because it's a width. This piece needs like spacers on it or something. We are going to put some bodge on the hack. It is oh my God, it is a gender changer. Also, our gender changer has the semi-unanticipated side effect of now the drive shaft. So a VRD puts the drive shaft slightly off center. So it's dead middle now. Now, it is a horrific drive shaft angle, which I can fix right now. Come along with me, and you'll see what happens when someone doesn't think far enough ahead. All I needed was to grind out the front axle. Is there the possibility that we grind out the front pumpkin and put that A30 reverse in here, and then we clear up a lot of problems? Oh, abso-friggin-lutely. But I am kind of proud of this nonsensical thing because it's made out of a piece of a table saw. And we are just going to have to crank this rear pinion angle. But it looks like, from just looking, it looks like we can. Because I believe I can go to that hole right there. And I think we can crank this pinion angle. I want that hole right there. Hits the skirt a little, but it's 3D printed, so we're going to fight it and we're going to win. Yeah, I've had to deal with bad gear angles, bad drive shaft angles before. If you've used a Fox Belly, an Artful Dodger's Fox Belly, because it turns the Stealth X on its side, the gear shaft angles are pretty wild. This is not even as wild. I'm kind of splitting the difference here. I guess I could have gone to the higher hole, but I'm going to try this hole because, yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad. Is it great? No. Is it not bad? Sure. Sure. Definitively not bad. Will it work? Well, functional, operational is it's an all-encompassing term. I have some degree of confidence that it's going to work. This shall indeed be functional. How far we get past functional is TBD. The rocks will let us know. As is the usual in these sorts of affairs, I do not have a surplus of material built up this week. So, oh yeah, see, one hole. Look at that angle now. Yo! Yeah, that's it. You know what? That's not bad. For how high that pinion comes out, that is not bad. And that looks like we take this boss apart. Take this boss apart. That looks like the shortest axial length. MacGruber! Troy MacGruber. I'm just embracing the Troyness of it all, really. The question is, do I have any of the little middle pieces that are short enough to get this on the vehicle? That looks too short. We're going to find out. All at once. No surprise at all. That is way too long. Okay. Yeah. So, what I had to do is this upper shaft, I had to drill out. It had a 2mm hole in it, and I had to drill it out to 2.5. I have every risk right now of breaking my 2.5mm drill bit because that hole is too tight. Can't even get the pin into it. And I could grind the pin down. Are you getting out in the gnarly heat? Sir, I'm from the Inland Empire. The heat has not yet begun to get gnarly. It was 100. We had 100, but it was like this weak 100. It wasn't 100 enough. Got to cobalt this. Let's see. Yeah, that's real snug. If it's not big enough, you just do the thing and drill it more. Yeah, better. Almost fixed. I'll go a soft almost. But yeah, the heat is definitely coming, and I will acclimate. It takes us a little while to get used to it. We get used to the non-hot, which for everyone else, like the people from lands where they shut everything down where it gets 90, they wouldn't know what to do. It's 78 in the building right now. That's pretty nice. Yeah, wait till it gets 120. Yeah, when we talk about hot, what we mean is hot. You just try to not move. Did you see the Irish thing he's in? Hmm? Yeah, Mythigan has humidity because their lives are controlled by a lake of the same name, Lake Mythigan. And they are at the mercy of the lake effect. The lake decides if it's going to rain or be dry or be hot or be cold. And we don't have lakes here unless they're fake. Yeah, man-made lakes. We do have the Pacific Ocean, though. We have that. Oh, no. Oh, no. Can it be? Could it is? I'm going to have to assemble the shortest drive shaft I can. And it might not be short enough because we've shortened the rear drive shaft by 35 millimeters. We already have 35 degrees in Spain. That doesn't make sense.
Means nothing.
35? 35 is freezing cold. It's 78 and I'm comfortable. 35, I would have to have a parka on. I don't know what those numbers mean. All right, we got a cut shaft. And I think I have one more cut shaft, if need be. This is a little nubber of a drive shaft. Yep, we're gonna have to go double nubs. Luckily, the upper links are so long that we're not really gonna have to worry about the drive shaft telescoping. Is that word? Telescoping? Ha! A Crawler Canyon album. Yeah. Where I murder the songs of other people. I've said it many times. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing it. And the co-conspirator to that is, I don't know how to sing, but I'm singing it. These two drive shaft halves do not perfectly key together. But you know what we're going to do? We are going to ship it. We are going to hope, and we are going to pray. We are going to hope against hope that this will actually stay together as a drive shaft. Wants to make a climate joke. Anybody makes any climate jokes, we're going to get the UN statement applied to the video. Like Wheelin' Wednesday. Because studies have shown, don't you know? Okay, if this pin goes in, rhymes. we might have something. If this pin goes in, the wheels should rotate in the same directions. Yeah, there you go. Chi is dead. What is it? Fahrenheit is the measurement system for humans. Celsius is the measuring system of science. And Kelvin is the measuring system of the universe. Because in every other system, other than Fahrenheit, if it's 100 degrees, everyone's dead. If it's 100 degrees Fahrenheit, you're just hot. Oh, Harry Gage over in Oxnard, which is almost as impossible to believe that it exists as Rancho Cucamonga. Oxnard. Okay, we're not gonna bolt this. We're gonna bosh it. We're gonna bish it and bash it and bosh it. So these are, I know someone who is exposed to minus 500, 400, but he's 0K now. Hey-oh! A dad science joke? I'm all here for it. You notice I haven't moved this yet because I'm still afraid that the wheels are gonna defy physics and they're gonna rotate in opposite directions. You know, here's the deal. Here's the deal. Let me give you the deal. There's every chance that I'm just gonna Dremel the inside of this housing so that I can put that 830 reverse that's sitting in a box over there. But I don't know. There's something that I love about this stupid gear flipper mechanism. Like, it could work. It could look so much worse. My only fear is that, like, how much engagement are we getting? We might have enough to pop that apart. We might. And with that drive shaft angle, look at the collapse. Look at the telescope. Wall. That's the maximum length that thing can be. But it doesn't hit links? Let's be honest. Let's all be honest together. Should we share some honesty? Let's all be honest together. If that piece works, you know I'm not messing with it. I'm just going to leave it in there. I'm going to run it till it dies. That's how we operate. So we're going to start with pins, Jora pins. And 2 of these have brass rings in them. But they're close enough together that I can't tell them apart. That feels like a front. Milk. 281, 205. That's a front. 281, 200, 201. Yeah. If you get into the insanity of trying to make things weigh exactly the same, I know of what you're doing, and may God have mercy upon you. That stupid gender changer is perfect. Don't change it. That's what I like to see. That's what I like to see. We are simpatico. We are all on the same page. I'm not even bothered that the rear wheel track is 4 millimeters. There's no drive shaft on the front. I was like, that thing's not rotating at all. You know, the drive shaft's laying. That could be why. Infinite resistance in the drive shaft. So this thing is an absolute slam wagon on 90s. It sits so low to the ground, it is almost impractical. And on the 96s, it honestly looks, this looks a little closer to where we ought to be. I almost bought some comp pins, couldn't bring myself to do it, so ugly. That's the thing, though. That's the thing. They are cheat codes. And, oh, that rake is so good. Oh, my goodness. I almost said if you could see, and then I remembered that there's a camera.
Not a podcast.
Look at the links. They just start back here and just go straight link down. 0.8s, pretty good. Oh, PT Dubs. I put these in the wrong holes. I've got to do that again. but you can get the idea of what we're working with. This is supposed to be one hole further forward. Then these didn't. No, one hole further backward. Then these will line up. No. Yes. No. The front ones go forward one hole. We can fit. Lickety quick. We can fix it. We can fix it. We can fix it. It's funny to you when you say words in Spanish is because I'm in Spanish. Oh, here's the thing. I don't know Spanish. I live in Southern California. We only know Mexican, which is similar, but very different. And what am I telling you for? You live in Spain. Y'all speak Spanish. That's different business. And most everything I know in my quote-unquote Spanish, I learned in my job, my first job out of high school, where all the dishwashers only spoke Spanish. They were all Mexican. So most of the Mexican that I know is curse words and insults, and I know enough to like read a billboard. Donde está el baño? My mother-in-law is Mexican, looks like a native, and she always laughs at me because she says that I have some of the best deliberately bad pronunciation. Like a guacamole, like I will murder the pronunciation. And I'm allowed, I get a free pass, I'm allowed to murder the pronunciation because I actually know what the pronunciation should be. I don't know why you guys say Ibiza, but I know that you do. And look at this, we got teeth. We got the notchers right there. And you want to talk, look at where the body ends and look at where the skid is. You got to work. Look at this. This guy is not gonna make the angry Lexan noises. He's gonna do the things. Let's get a proper body down. We'll get the side view. We'll see if the springs are right. We'll see what is right and what is wrong. But I mean, it's a pretty good delicioso. It is a pretty good for something that has not been anywhere near driven. I think we're pretty clean. Yeah, driver 8 got to be one of the quickest builds yet. The pre-work pays off. So probably in the neighborhood of 10 hours yesterday, and then about three and a half hours this morning, and then about 3 hours to get it together today. And finished but not done, definitely one of those things, because I don't know how much. If you want to trust expensive, Bake Off, so good. So I've no idea if this is going to work. Let's put a front drive shaft on it and make sure it actually works. And by works I mean fits. Getting the front drive shaft on an F10 is not fun. F10 VFD, I should say. You kind of gotta wrestle it. The question is, did I pick too long of a screw so the drive shaft doesn't fit past the upper link mount? I don't think I did. It's a wet noodle situation. Now, if we can get the pins in before it falls apart, we win a prize. Measure wheelbase. Will do. Spin that. How can you pronounce a Z like an S? Well, okay. He said Ibiza is Ibiza, not Ibiza or Ibiza. Oh, Ibiza, when they do that one? So is it not the th sound, whatever that sound is?
Barcelona.
Okay, because have I been poisoned by the British? Because they don't say Z, they say Z? What is it? Like if you were to phonetically write out Ibiza, is it Ibiza? Or is it Ibiza? Or is it Ibiza? What is it? I want to know. I would call it Ibiza. Is this a new Canyon? Oh, no, that guy? No, that's the blind guy. He just makes a lot of noise.
Cannot be quieted.
He will not be quieted. Whew, that front drive shaft is flat. Dummy flat. Now here's the fun part, getting the gearbox to turn. If this works, then 4 drive shafts, who's Z? 4 drive shafts will have gone in. Look at this. Look at this. Ibiza, the B and the Z is silent. Yeah. 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 That's just IIA. Yeah. What do I know? Yeah, might be correct. Wheelbase. It is really stink bugging without like battery and stuff weight like that in it. Wheelbase in 2 variants for Americans and non-Americans. 325, aka 12 3/4. So it's a 12.8. So with this, with a VRD skid and these links, which are 313 on pretty much everything else, it stretches us that like 12 millimeters. I think it looks pretty good. And what I had not measured, and we'll do right now, I had not measured, yeah, see, look when they get any weight on them, they just whoosh, droop, and I had not measured. Rear lower is 140, front lower is 125. Oh! Oh! It's perfect. It's perfect. Who could ask for anything more? All right. We've got a receiver. We've got a server. Oh, you almost got me. Number 1. Yeah, this has definitely... This is pizza really PIA. Pia! So we will plug this in here. We will plug this in here. I did a factory reset on the, this is just guessing. Let's just do this. That's why I went plugs instead of hardwiring. We will probably, and by probably I mean almost inevitably, end up hardwiring the motor to the speed control is what I typically do. This guy will probably be mounted like right here. So those wires will just go right to it. And yeah, we'll do electronics on this side, battery on the other side. He's going to be a little off balance, a little off kilter no matter what we do. We'll grab one of the twins batteries as I know that they are charged. We'll grab the radio, which is this. We are going to need a 16th. Zed's dead. Zed. Oh, there's that girl that makes fun of French people on on Instagram, where she does how like the French get mad when we don't say croissant, and people were like, it's a croissant, right? Like an American would call it a croissant. They get mad, and then they're like, but then she does the French how the French pronounce American or English words, Disneyland and Netflix, and I'm like, the door definitely swings both ways. If you can't pronounce our stuff, don't get mad that we can't pronounce your stuff. Why is that solid? It's already paired. It's already paired. Oh. Okay, so I don't know if stuck rotor's on. I don't know if stall is on. I don't know if any of that stuff is on. Oh, look at that jack. Yeah, this guy's gonna be real interesting. We're gonna see some real interesting stuff. Oh, we should at least calibrate, yeah. Oh, last time I did this, I rocketed into the counter here. So rather than bounce this off of camera 2, we'll put them up. Okay. It didn't like whatever I've got the throttle on, probably not reversed. And now we are stroke cab. We are backwards. So we will just reverse any two. We'll do these. Do these. Yeah, you know that when you plug it in the first time, if it turns the correct direction, you know you have your radio calibrated backwards. Okay, that's gonna get a little wild without a servo attached. We're gonna be flangling. Straight is what? Somebody call somebody, because that's pretty straight. Let's not get into oh, you almost got me again. We're gonna power it off. I don't want to break a 1.5 today. We're gonna power that off to put to lock down the clamping screw. That's how I broke my first 1.5 millimeter. I would make a minivan crawler, but somebody needs to make a minivan body. Because if it's about styrene, I'll kill it. Okay. Can we do something? Here, we have a constant consideration now, which is might want to put some like holes or something to attach some zip ties to or something, because I'm going to get wires from one side to the other, and now we have two giant 17-tooth gears just whirling away out in the open. So that's going to be terrifying. So what we'll do is we do something very irresponsible. It is in our nature. We go in the bin. And if you want to make it classy, you got to use a Vanquish strap. Put the Vanquish strap in. Oh, show William RC Pro drive the Vanimal. You got it. The Vanimal is a classy lad. Vanimal. He's color changed root beer brown, but he's also purple, and sometimes he's gold. Yeah, the Vanimal. We made a wacky chassis for him. He started as a Charisma, SCA 1E, Legacy Fusion, anti-torque twist gearbox. He's a fun guy. He's a good little guy. Class 1 landmines. He's a good guy. He's got a Will Ladder, but we'll allow it. MST makes a minivan. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. We obviously need one of those. All right. So we go this way, and then we go back this way. And then we're going to run that wire across it, and then we'll tuck this back a little bit that way. And we're going to run that wire across the top of the drive shaft because I fear the drive shaft less than I fear the whirling 17-tooth. This strap is way too long for this. So maybe if we cram the... There. Perfect! Perfect. 3D printed cover for your gender changer. It is business looking right there. And then we will slap... I don't know if I have any short straps. I need like an OptiPower or a Scorpion. And they fold these up like so tight, you'd be like, oh, that's going to be so short. And then you open it up, this thing's like 10 inches long. I thought I had one more Scorpion or OptiPower. I got a lot of Vanquish. Because nothing fits the Vanquish. I guess we're just going to slap a Vanquish on there because it's what I can find, and I don't want to dig for battery straps for 10 minutes. I could use staples. Staples don't penetrate into the 3D print very well, though. That's the problem with staples. We're going to go double Vanquish straps, one to hold the electronics, one to hold the battery, and they're both way too long. Our only source, our only availability, like I say, there's OptiPower, and then there's one called Scorpion that are for like drones. They're kind of the only ones that make battery straps short enough. Because this is a 2200, and this strap is going to be way too long. Way too long. It's not way too long as the one on the other side, though. Could just use a glue, some sort of polymer adhesive. Ooh. Ooh. Na 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 na. Rotate. Rotate. Ooh, that's nerve-wracking. Let's go a little further forward. A little pooch on that. And then we'll go right there. Is that far enough? Yeah, there we go. There we go. 4-inch zip ties coming up. J Concepts makes an Aerostar? No, they don't. Show me. I want to believe. Is it for like a monster truck? Is that why I haven't seen it? Or a sedan? Well, that'd be awesome. Yeah. I would buy an Aerostar. Okay. That little zippy should be enough. Have you not seen my battery strap tutorial? Nope. Like how to shorten these? I don't know how to sew. Like how to make them yourself? I have a whole roll of Velcro like that big. Too lazy. You know why? See, okay, this is like 6. So I have 40 or 50 battery straps. Maybe more. I have 40, 50 in that drawer, which is why a lot of my little 850s, I just Velcro them down because the straps irritate me to no end. Just spit on it and stick it. Could do. Could do. I bought a body and 2 drive shafts I really needed and didn't process it correctly, and I canceled the operation. Now it's more expensive than previously. Ah, yes. Commerce. Monster truck. You're getting your butt kicked by a battery strap. That's a skill issue. Oh, no. It's just that... No, it's a manufacturing issue. They're making 8-inch battery straps, assuming that we're all running 2S hard case stick packs, when I could probably guess that almost no one is running 2S hard case stick packs. So why are we still getting 8-inch long battery straps? Yeah, I have a... this is my spool of the Velcro to make straps out of. And I have an entire container of all the buckles and latches and everything. And I just can't be bothered to do it. If they're available, if the short ones are available on A-Main, I just buy those. Please weigh him. Will do. Will do. Oh, this is the RTR-inest this has ever been. It had to go through various stages of mock-ups, but never had a motor in it, never had any of that stuff. So, push. So that's ghost rideable. You know what we can use for just this operation? Vanquish H10 foams. Make sure his droop isn't too much that he touches the ground. Yeah, he needs 3 Vanquish H10 foams. On those 96s, he'd be drooping. Yeah, on the 90s, he sits slammed. With battery, he's guessing 3,000 grams on the nose. All right. Okay. Everybody, so who's taking the, all right, who's taking the over-under? JC NorCal says 3,000 grams on the nose. Who's taking over and who's taking under? You can put, I mean, the chat's going to be delayed, so by the time I say it, it should probably already be up in the chat. But we'll see if you're over or under. And you can't see it. So, ha 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 ha. Let's see. Oh, look what I can do. Look at this. Oh, I don't have, wait, I do have enough. I just have enough cord. Ready? Look at this. Technology. $27.57. That's it.
Pounds.
What is that in pounds? Freedom units? Come on. 6.080. So he has 6 pounds. And that's crazy because I put a big piece of phenolic in there and some 17-tooth pinion gears that weren't supposed to be there. So if I do indeed carve up the front axle housing and also went from 90 shocks to 96s, did a little of this here, did a little of that there. Yeah, could get him right at 6 pounds. And I would like to point out, what did we say? 205 and 281. That's 462 and 405. 462. Let's call it 405. So 867 grams for the wheels and tires. So he's 2750, and 867 grams of that is just the wheels and tires. So 867 divided by 2757. Yeah, his wheels and tires are 31% of the vehicle weight. Did Ed Scrivener hit it the closest? $2,700. Yeah. Within 60 grams. Yeah, and I said, 0 efforts made at Lightning. 0 efforts made at anything other than getting it to move on its own accord. I love how every Outrunner system powers up with a different speed of tones. RC Family says 2,800 is closer. RC Family has never watched The Price is Right because you have to be the closest without going over. So 2,700 is closer to 2,700. Oh, Lumpkin Muffins mentioned something. Before I wheel this back and forth, we're going to interrupt that for a second. The gentleman in the chat who just asked that he has said there was a notification that the body was delivered. I've already opened the box, so I can't do a live unboxing. Yes, HVO203, yes, 2757. I had to see it I had to see it myself. But I can take it out of the box again. Okay, we're going to have a fake unboxing, and we're going to ask some questions. I got to walk over here to do it. But, hold on. I don't want to dox anybody, so I have to, there we go. I got to pull the addresses off the box. So, much like the forest, bear with me. There we go. Okay. So, a gentleman in the chat who I did not know this, but he is from Texas. A gentleman from Texas offered to send me a body for baseline because he has seen what baseline looks like, and it's, well, okay, no peeking. So baseline's body looks like war. Okay. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Look, just stare upon that visage for a minute. Remember that these at one point, like if you've ever bought a hobby wing, look in the package of stickers and look how bright pink the hobby wing is right there. It's almost completely faded. It's like a peach color now. Okay, so when we bought Lord Pentaby, first of his name, he of course came with the same body, and that body is somewhere over here in the rafters. There it is. So we're going to do a compare and contrast here. The gentleman from Texas has sent a body for baseline, and the gentleman from Texas has made a terrible, terrible mistake, which is he made a body that's so pretty. He did the Curtis Knudsen from Central California who painted Lolo and made a body so pretty that I was like, oof, yes, this is the real patina. And if you've never had the opportunity, this is baseline, and this is what he looked like fresh out of the box. He has seen things. Wait, look at the mirror-like finish. He has started to wear through right here. Not cracked, but he's had to self-right himself so many times he's actually wearing through the Lexan on the rear corners. It's also getting a little worn right here. There's almost nothing reflective left about him. He's full matte now. And yes, the drift stitches are the true mark of baseline. So the assumption was that at some point we were just going to replace like for like and go with the stock Genship gray. Like, doesn't he even look lighter? Like, is he sun faded? Like, that gray looks darker than that gray. It's not just me, right? So he sent it for baseline. He wants it to be used in scene. Yeah. Here's the thing, though. You haven't seen it yet. Oh, man. It's so good. It's so good. Is it or is it not so good? Look how good it is. It makes me furious. This is the second time now that someone has sent in a body that makes all of my bodies look like crap. What? Like, why you gotta flex like that? Why you gotta flex? Look how good it looks. It's so good. So good. And here's the deal. So his intention is to put this on baseline. We know what's going to happen to that. Like, I feel guilt, and it hasn't even happened yet. That's going to get beaten into the earth. I mean, he's very nearly as matte as that. So what is that going to look like after some time? But, I wish that was the one I sent. Then who sent that? Wait. Is there another body here that I don't know about? Wait, I'm confused. Is the guy that sent that here? Is he not here? Who? Now I don't know. So Is there another body here that I don't know? Was a body delivered here that I don't know about? Is there another body? Oh, I'd love to see how you get your holes marked for post paint. Okay. All right. So if that's not the one that he sent, then I don't know what that one is. Got to keep track of where the bodies are stashed. Oh man, I lose bodies in here real bad. So here's how we do it. This is the way we do. Baseline not looking too dirty today. So you got your body fully painted. You go over to, got it on A-Main, the magnetic body post marker kit from Biddy Design. I've already broken one of the magnets, as one would expect. This is what they look like. When you have to pay the money for it, you go like this. You go, gasp, and then you do it, right? Because what it is you've got little guys, little friends, and they go on top of your body post. We're just going to loose fit it for now to give you an idea of how this works. So you go like this, and you stick these on like this. They're a little tight on his body posts because his body posts were made by hand. And then we would set him down about where we think he would go. And there's where the body posts are. And then, because they're magnets, you can move. Look at that. What? It's goddamn witchcraft. How are you doing that? You better stop it. So you get them lined up, and then you just eyeball it, and you get him to fit right where you want him. And then you take yourself a pen, kind of like the Biddy Design body marker right here, which if you've ever wondered why the tip is so fine, that tip fits right down through the little hole in that magnet, and you just mark it right through those little holes. I mean, it's obviously off center right there, so I'm not going to mark it. Mr. Yates, pointing up with a... Here's how I did it. Get a Sharpie Pro or a Magnum, the Sharpie Magnums, any really big marker, or a paint pen. Paint pen the top of the posts and set it down. The problem was, I never got it quite right. You always ended up with the body off to one side or the other. But, I mean, once you do this a couple times, you're like, well, I'm sold. I'm absolutely sold. Because it has 4 of them. So you put all 4 on, and you maneuver the body around until you go, yeah, that looks right. And if you don't have a body that's already, like my posts are what I would constitute as set, because Baseline runs the same body, so his posts sit at this height, right? If you're just running normal adjustable posts, you just lower your posts down this much, or don't put the cross pin in the post at all. Set them down, get your body perfectly where you want it, and then put the little magnets on top. Boop, 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 boop. 4 marks, cut your holes. It is worth the money, I would say. It is something that I feel confident in recommending to people. If you do bodies, if you can foresee yourself in the future doing like 2 or 3 bodies, just drill the holes. Do like the gentleman who's behind us and drill the holes before you paint the body. And I wouldn't have had to do, if you do this, you don't have to do anything. Because, just drops it on. Oh, it doesn't look natural. It looks unnatural. Yeah. Beat to crap. But not for long, apparently. We're going to, Oh, that's another, there's another cheatery method that you can use, which is, if you're just doing the same thing, then you just stick your markers up through the hole and then mark it that way. I'll still use the magnets, but there are ways. We have ways. So let's see this. Let's see this thing move a little bit. Oh, almost all the parts for the 24th scale Capra. Oh. I'm pleased to hear Capra. I'm less pleased to hear 24th scale, but I understand it. There's realities. As long as you don't make me personally work on your 24th scale Capra, I'm excited for you. I can't, and I won't. No tiny scales for me. Speaking of worth the money, the Omni Nefixo. Oh yeah, I just used it this morning. When you have to do like bullets, I clamp the bullets like that. It's the best. It's the best. All the time. I don't know how I lived without this. Well, I burned my fingers a lot. Is how I lived without that. And surprisingly, I mean, that's not even that much stuff. We have zero fastener optimization here. We'll get to that. That's a later thing. I turned this on, right? Did I turn this on? Let's set let's do this. Okay. Find the radio. It's got some real squat to it. Watch it pop up. I think this is a newness issue. Everything, yeah. But then, what's the other body? Go see if Amazon left anything. I don't think we're crawling the canyon sign. That's metal. Wait, help him out. There we go. We're getting out of frame. There we go. Oh, I'm a YouTuber now. If you crawl out of the way out of frame, you're a YouTuber. Boom! I sent the blind guy to go look look around. So he'll determine whether or not anything's out there. I mean, it's a thing. Is the body an amp at all? That's an outrunner. Sounds like a vacuum cleaner. So, okay, here's what we'll do. We're dangerously close to the point where I'm gonna get yelled at by the wife. I'm gonna get in Dutch with the wife. But I did want to see this because we've got perfectly excellent clearance with those. How bad is the clearance on these? Because if you're going to do the thing, you might as well do the thing, right? Really get that ground clearance up. These are also on deeps, so he'd be getting a fair shade wider. I'll try every tire that I can think of. My only fear with these, with more offset on the wheels. No. Yes. No weighted rings in these. I just fear that the additional height, they're going to go right into the fenders. And I am prideful in that this stance is not carved up at all. This stance is a stance. And I lowered it basically as much as I could. Oh, you know what? Maybe not bad. Maybe not bad. We might get away with this. Oh, he does have a box. We can't get proper body noise unless we have body clips. Okay, I don't think it's a body in this. I think this is my bit organizer. Yes, it is. Got some Gen 2, yeah, but two in the front, two in the rear and 1.9 in the front would work if you were on straight axles. But maybe not as much on a mullet. I'm so excited about how flat that thing is sitting on a mullet. I think we're right there. I've already oriented this a couple times. Yeah, look at that. I mean, that's pretty good, right? So I got one of these. No, you're over there. Get back over here. I got one of those giant grids to put bits in. That's not terrible. It's not terrible. It's not amazing. Oh, and yeah, the other box. What are you doing? I have like 8 razor knives over here. Please don't stab that body with a knife. The blind guy has a knife, so be thankful you're on the internet.
Blind guy knows how to use a knife.
Yeah, this is a stance body. That's why it looks like a boat. If you look at it from straight above, is that not a Chris Craft boat? Like it should have a wood grain finish on it. You could just go full boat.
That is a body.
I want to I think I'm gonna, you know what? Just response it. Hit me with either rupture or pin as to what we ghost rided on the tires. So do we do those or do we do these? I think those look better on there. I mean, that looks, dude, he's looking pretty mean. I have my paint scheme. What's my paint scheme? Oh, Chris Craft, paint it like a boat. Put the wood grain on it. Didn't you just order this like 2 days ago? Okay, I am surprised by the flatness of the Corvair Lakewood. I don't want to cut it out of the plastic yet. But you know what? I will. We'll do this. We'll do a little, this way I can put it back into the plastic. Because then what I do is I lose all of the, I lose all the window masks. I lose everything if I cut it open too much. So this is the body that he was speaking of. I thought he was the gentleman that sent in the painted body. And I plan to thank the guy for the painted body in the live stream. But I guess he's not here for that. Corvair Lakewood. I've been pre-thinking about this, and I'm thinking it might be a little small. Ripsaws? I don't know. I was thinking class 1, but now that I see the fender wells, I think we could get away with bigger on there. I don't know. Corvair Lakewood. What are we gonna put? What are we gonna put under there? I don't. No hustlers. I had thought about Morvair, but I don't know. Oh, maybe the Corvair Lakewood needs bigger tires, not the littler ones, because that's pretty sick right there. Maybe not rupture big, but like class 2 big. I mean, we will see. We will see. There isn't specifically a build lined up for that, but the Geniuses got claimed. The Sem Fronteras got claimed by Yella, and those are Yella's old tires right there. Well, those are Yella's old tires. Hunks on the Corvair might be real nice. Yeah, wide track with tires outside the body. Yeah. I'm with that. Yeah, so Oh wow, I never even noticed that. That is very similar to the logo that I know that they are going for. Oh, let's get some little license plates as well. So we will figure that guy out. We will figure out where he's going to go. I have construction work. RC family, it cannot be Patagonias. The only Patagonias are RC four-wheel drive. They only come in X2, S3. They're like $34 a pair, and they are solidly okay. I built a set to put on the Banana, and the inner sidewalls of them, all along here, are dry rotting to pieces because he sits on a shelf most of the time and doesn't get driven. So it can't be Patagonias. Have I tested J Concepts holds? Informally, not in the current tire testing protocol format, but yes, I have tested holds. Ghost Rover runs holds full time. That's his day-to-day tire. Now, if they made Patagonias in X2 SS or some other company made them, yeah. Oh yeah, there's more grip in these. I mean, we forget. Like the mini pin is a great tire, particularly for the money. But as I tell people about a lot of things, it ain't a rupture. If you can fit a rupture, we're not even near the stops. See if we can get a little more out of them. Oh, just listening to beeps. Are we wide open? Yeah, we're just wide open. I don't know what it is about the 50 kg flash hobby, but every time I run one of them, they're just at 120, 120. That is some steer angle right there. And still pretty, they're camming a little. Oh, and I didn't point out at all. I swapped to a 48 tooth spur and a 12 tooth pinion because if you run the stock 56, your outrunner will basically rub against the skid. So we go to that little guy. And then the way I built the front body mount, a 56 wouldn't even fit. You could go to the 52. But I think the gearing is... Well, he's going to be a little overly quick now, going from we go a little taller on the tire. But that will be generally the outset. That's going to be the outfit for the Ghost Ride, which I'll shoot for Sunday for that. I've got a couple tire tests that I need to do. I've got the insert tests on the Revolt inserts. I've got too much. I want to revisit the H10 at least once. You've seen it over on the end of the bench. It's got 2 Tusk LPs on it. I just kind of want to mess with the power plant a little bit and see if we can make it less god-awful, and particularly with a decent tire. Yeah, there's stuff. We've definitely got stuff. It's just that, Oh, and then I've done none of the set-in work on Mavericks yet, and I would like to start filming that this week. And I don't want the first competitors out to have to run on unset rock. So I feel like the world is collapsing down on top of me. But we will make something happen. At the very least, I can guarantee you that at some point this weekend, you will get to see the Ghost Ride of this because it's ready to go. He's ready to go. That battery is charged. His body fits. Those tires are sweet. We will get him out there. And I am very, at the very least, I'm going to make an attempt to mount a tire inside out. But the bead folds to the inside when you turn, well, more accurately, it folds to the outside. I wouldn't subject a deep woods to it, but like it just turns into a donut. So getting it to grab this, because now the bead is aiming the wrong way. And of course, you wouldn't want to do it with this anyway. This is not the tire for it. That just turned into that'd be a great sand tire. You do it to a tire like this, which let's see if I can even get this thing inside out right. Ooh. That might be something. That might be something right there. Now the insert is going to need to be smaller, right? We're going to need a smaller insert. Let me see. I think I've got. I have these somewhere. So Crawler Innovations single. There's some fun noises. The insert, you would definitely not have a problem with the insert sliding around because the tread really seems to hold it in place. Okay. Let me grab a bead lock. Not beeps. You know what? Let's try these. Nope, not the 2-2s. These. Let's try Tranquish's old wheels. Let's try these. You know what? These big boys will mount. These are going to go. Oh, man. You've done it now. You've done it now. I will have to sort out the situation with the inserts because I don't know if I'm going to be able to locate 4 of these. We might just run them on like class 1 open cell because I think those will fit. And I don't think it super matters how good the fitment of the insert inside the tire is. This thing feels like an absolute rock. I'm going to have to see if I have any class 1s that are some softer class 1 foams. Oh my God, I'm so excited right now. You have no idea. This is ludicrous. Oh, and tell me those aren't the perfect wheels. They've got they've got the thing for the people with the phobia, trypophobia. They've got the whole phobia. These are so H.R. Giger. It's crazy. The contact patch. Look at the contact. It's ludicrous. Oh man, that right there. That is something. That is something right there. And you know what? That mounted up every bit as easy as it was to mount. I had not tried these. I had only goofed around with tires that are apparently too soft. You need to have a really brick of a tire. Oh, that thing is that tire is amazing. It has such an alien vibe. Yeah, no roll on it. It is rock hard right here. Because the side lugs are rolled inside. Oh yeah, this tire would murder the sand. Look at them ribs. Oh boy, gonna dig. And when they're turned inside out, look how tall they get. Oh, this might be the weekly dumb I've looked forward to. This is up there. Oh, you know these are gonna be better than the Hustlers. It swells these boys out to like 125. They're almost 5 inches tall. And 52 wide. So when you put all the lugs on the inside, they get taller and wider. Look at that guy. Oh, man, he's so good. Sean Rice, that is the Axial Falcon Wild Peak MT turned inside out. It definitely does not have that squared off profile. It's got a real... I think they need a proper score to see if they're better inside out. They got scored. They were a 93-ish. I think inline skate wheels. That's what it is. Or Razor scooter tires. Yeah. Some scooter tires. These might be the perfect tire for it because they're rock hard and they're way over ribbed and belted. And let me see, what's a Baja Boss look like on the inside? Yeah, the rib belt, like, okay, we'll get a Baja Boss flipped inside out, which is a lot more difficult to turn inside out. So we have the same sort of, I mean, it looks, oh, it's almost identical, but look how much more pronounced the ribs are on the axe. This is the Axial, and this is the Baja Boss. It's just so much deeper. That's deeper. That's deeper for more grip. That's deeper for more grip. Yeah, these are born for it. So I will. There's another one. There's another one in the pipe. They're gonna get a full score. We're gonna. It's gonna be the first weekly dumb quick view. It's going all the way through the tire test protocol. No one can stop. There's no one here to stop me. Do the round profile tires turn square when inside out, or just that much taller? Do I have a round profile tire? Oh, I had a Deepwoods mostly inside out. Yeah, they just turned into power domes. Look like drag slicks. And like, whoa, whoa, whoa. There's a real thing here. Yeah, but see, I think if there is a potential success to an inside and any Audi, it's going to be these because they're so heavy duty. Like the dumb view. Oh, I'm taking that. It is a dumb view. Oh, mad scientist and makers. Later, fellas, have a day. Not only that, I'm going to have to, as my sister from Texas would say, have to let you go as there is an episode premiering in 13 minutes. So, so if you want more Canyon content, baby, you're going to get it. I filmed an episode with the twins. That is up today. Yeah, the self-right is going to be off the charts. So good. So good. I am thankful for Miata Commuter not leaving me alone until I agreed to turn some tires inside out and test them inside out. I look up at the rack and honestly, I don't know if there is a tire up there as well suited to being turned inside out as these. Like they yearn for it. They yearn to be inside out. You're supposed to mow the lawn. Isn't it nighttime? So I will see you all potentially in about 12 minutes. Spiritually. I will see you all again in Discord. I will see you in the comments. I will see you again here next week. I will see you here, there, and everywhere. There's going to be stuff. Tomorrow morning, it looks like I'm filming like 4 or 5 episodes. It's going to be fun. And then at some point this weekend, I really need to paint Scarlet. And I need to settle that concrete in. And I have too much work for one person, but we'll see what happens. Maybe it'll happen. I will thank you for the final time for joining me here in the canyon for this live stream. I think we had a great one. I look forward to seeing you next time. In between now and then, please one and all do your very best. Have a good one, everybody. And we will see you next time here from the canyon. Yeah. Hit me up on the Discord. Hit me up on Instagram. I will talk about toy cars until you beg for mercy. Crawler City RC came in for the last 5 minutes. It'll be up tomorrow. And my watch just told me almost there. Just need to stand up. Haven't sat down in 4 hours. Been standing for 4 hours straight. It doesn't think I'm standing. Troy and Tony and Gus, we're all glad to have you. We'll see you next time, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us. The Midwest goodbye, as of now,